What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, we kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. The brains are bigger than the Dow. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let
Like it, Bird is determined to make us famous.
this is bigger than ourselves. We won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway.
Bert watches every show we do now. Every show.
And we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race.
Hey daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Will Bird, and this is the Cold Beer Confessional, the show where we highlight people who don't understand sarcasm. Thank you guys for joining us. If you haven't heard, over on Bert's show, I am Will Bird, the host of the Cold Beer Confessional, a disabled combat veteran. So he makes that very apparent. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. If you want to support the show, go to coldbeer.fund, coldbeer.fund, and if not, let's hop into it. I think the funniest story that came out today was fucking Pete Hegseth. I've noticed a couple things about Hegseth. One is his look is always on point. He's got to have professionals doing it, and that should be pointed out by the fact that Hegseth orders a makeup studio to be installed at the Pentagon. Now, normally I wouldn't give a fuck, right? People who appear on TV all the time, like he used to work at Fox News. But this is the guy that's bringing the bot back to the military, putting the man back in military. He wants a man's military. He wants a man's man military. Back in the day, making it for the war fighters. But this man has to take over an office to put in his makeup studio. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth recently ordered modifications to a room next to the Pentagon press briefing room to retrofit it with a makeup studio that can be used to prepare for television appearances, multiple sources told CBS News. The price tag for the project was several $1,000s, according to two sources, at a time when the administration is searching for cost-cutting measures. Changes and upgrades to the Pentagon briefing room are nothing new and routinely happen during changes in administration, a Defense Department spokesperson said in a statement to CBS News. Could you imagine General Mattis being like, wait, stop the interview. Where's my makeup guy? Where's my guy at? Got to get to the makeup guy. Got to get to the makeup room, powder my nose. After CBS News published his report, the Defense Secretary responded in a post on X. Totally fake story, no orders and no makeup. Hegseth, before becoming Defense Secretary, was a morning show co-host on Fox and Fox News' Fox and Friends Weekend. Since his nomination, he has vowed to emphasize improvements in the armed forces' warfighting abilities and military readiness. An in-house construction crew renovated the adjacent green room earlier this year. The room previously had minimal furnishings, a table with chairs, a TV, photos of former defense secretaries, and a mirror on the back of the door, one source said. The table was removed and a new chair and a large mirror with makeup lighting was installed, another source said. He's going to call it a green room instead of a makeup studio. It's all a lie. It wasn't war plans. It was battle plans. And it wasn't a makeup studio. It's a green room where I just happen to have my makeup done. Hegseth is doing his own makeup ahead of TV appearances, not paying for a makeup artist, a defense official told CBS News. The suggestion for... First of all, we've never had, and we kind of knew this was going to be an issue. We haven't really had a defense secretary. So it's hard to not conflate these two. He's going to be on the news a lot because he makes a lot of fuck ups, and he makes a lot of drastic changes that a lot of people don't agree with. So people are going to reach out for comment, and they're going to ask him questions. But he also craves that. He wouldn't have went to Fox and Friends if he didn't want to be. Most of the guys that we get for SecDef are like battle-hardened previous generals and shit. They give a fuck less about the media, right? If they happen to do an interview or be scheduled for an interview, whatever. But they're not going to be seeking it out. Plus, they don't make these wild changes, right? Or crazy claims that can't be validated. They're not using Signal chat to text all their buddies about the imminent attack that's going on in the Middle East. So there's two things here. He's going to be on the news more because he's woefully underqualified, and he's going to be on the news more because he's seeking it out. The suggestion for improving the space came from Tammy Radabag, the deputy assistant to the Secretary for Strategic Engagement, and a former producer at Fox News and for CBS News, according to multiple sources. The chief Pentagon spokesman, Sean Parnell, the defense secretary's wife, Jennifer Hegseth, also a former Fox producer, expressed their approval for the upgrade before it was undertaken. One of the sources said, by the way, I know this is just from multiple anonymous sources and he's denying it. There's too many details here, right? Who suggested it? Who approved it? His wife was happy with it. There's too many details for it not to be true. It's true. The Defense Department spokesperson said the green room will be available to senior leaders and VIPs prior to press engagements. So even the Defense Department is going to admit it's a green room at minimum. The new items including a director's chair, came from existing inventories, a spokesperson said. A new countertop was constructed by facility service staff. For this upgrade, we were deliberately conservative and opted for several less expensive on-hand material solutions. Hegseth hasn't used...
Corndiff just gifted one sub.
Listen, Corndiff. I don't know if you know this, but I'm currently in some type of weird battle that only exists in a washed-up lounge singer's head. And every time someone donates, he gets extremely upset. Extremely upset. Every time he tried to read Dr. J Banana's name today during his show, and he's like, Dr. Janana, probably a family member or a friend, putting links in the chat. Dr. Janana. Wait till we get to that part. You better be very, very careful. You're going to make this man have a meltdown in a single person brawl he started all by himself. I forget that Bert exists 99% of the time. And then every once in a while, somebody send me a link and be like, "Hey, you're getting some showtime tonight over on Bert's channel." I'm like, "Oh, this guy. Yeah, I forgot he fucking existed." Not with me. He watches this show every fucking night. Every night. He's got clips from last night's show. He's got clips from the show the night before. He watches he'll be watching this right now, chat. If you got anything you want to say to him in the chat, he'll see it on the screen. Hegseth hasn't used the press room to brief reporters, but it has been a set for his TV appearances, including one with Fox this week, in which he blamed the media and former Defense Department employees for the revelation that he sent sensitive details about military strikes in a Signal group chat that he created. He did not deny news reports that he shared real-time operational information with family members before strikes in Yemen were carried out. He didn't explain why his wife, who is not a Defense Department employee, was in the chat. That was the second Signal group with whom Hegseth shared planning details about the Houthi airstrikes, which took place in mid-March. So he's not even denying that he did share these details with them, but he's still under, these are not war plans. Anybody could have these except for, the Houthis. The first Signal chat, a principals group, which was comprised of top national security officials, was created by National Security Advisor Michael Waltz, and its existence was exposed by Atlantic Editor-in-Chief Jeffrey Goldberg, who was added to the group in error by Waltz. Hegseth claims he did not disclose classified information in either of the chat groups. The Defense Department Acting Inspector General is reviewing his disclosures. We're focused on recruiting, on rooting out DEI, on securing our southwest border, on the president's agenda, and it's not going very well. It's going very well at the Pentagon, and I'm proud of it, Hegseth said Tuesday on Fox. The Pentagon restricted access to its briefing room on February 21st, barring reporters unless officials were speaking. Previously, press could use the room, one of the few places they could connect to Wi-Fi in the secure building, to file stories and to conduct. So they've even restricted this area to the press used to be there all the time, like trying to talk to people or interview or speaking with other people other than Hegseth, right? Anybody there, or gathering details for a story, and they would dip into this room to use the Wi-Fi because it's a secure network. They're not going to let just random phones connect on. Now it's closed off unless you're actively interviewing. It seems kind of weird for the most transparent administration in history. I'd probably say that, right? They want to claim to be the most transparent administration ever. And they keep shutting people out, shutting people down, restricting people, keeping people out of press rooms, keeping people out of briefings. It's kind of strange. But thank God they got Tim Pool in there, right? Right. Fucking losers. I also noticed something. Let's see if we can find this. Hegseth has a tail. I just figured out that Hegseth has a really weird tail. And I don't know if the tail is that he's lying or that he's nervous. But I want someone else to see this tail, okay? So I'm going to play this video, and then I'm going to play another video at regular speed. I won't speed them up. And you tell me if you see his tail. Oh, let me slow it down.
Time.
Hush up, Dr. J and Anna. DRJ Nana.
What a big surprise that a few leakers get fired and suddenly a bunch of hit pieces come out from the same media that peddled the Russia hoax. Won't give back their Pulitzers. They got Pulitzers for a bunch of lies. Pulitzers for a bunch of lies. And on hoaxes, time and time and time again. And as they peddle those lies, no one ever calls them on it. See, this is what the media does. They take anonymous sources from disgruntled former employees, and then they try to slash and burn people and ruin their reputations. Not going to work with me, because we're changing the Defense Department, putting the Pentagon back in the hands of...
Did you see it? I literally just noticed it a few hours ago when I was watching two separate videos. I'll grab another video. We'll watch this one again, but let me grab another one. Let's do duplicate, and we'll go back. Did you see his tail? The other one that I know is you can see it pretty good in is when he responded to the same thing in Hawaii. The one where he's like on the tarmac and he speaks out. I'm going to have to search something else. As soon as I show it to you, it'll stand out. But you gotta wait just a second. Let's see if it's in this one.
One question.
Can you share how your information about war plans against the Houthis in Yemen was shared with a journalist in The Atlantic? And were those details classified?
You're talking about a deceitful and highly discredited so-called journalist who's made a profession.
That is a weird thing he does, but I don't think that's his tail. His staring at the camera. That's a weird thing he does, but I think that's just because he's been on TV for forever, right? And even when you're on TV, when someone off screen asks you a question, you stare at the camera, right? You don't stare at the person. You can tell people who have been on TV for a long time, they're speaking into the camera. I don't think that's a tell.
Of peddling,
but he does do that.
Time and time again, to include the hoaxes of Russia, or the fine people on both sides hoax, or suckers and losers hoax. So this is the guy that peddles in garbage. This is what he does. I would love to comment on the Houthi campaign because of the skill and courage of our troops.
Yeah, he bounces. So watch this one.
And as they peddle those lies, no one ever calls them on it. See, this is what the media does.
Watch for it. Watch his shoulders.
Sources from disgruntled former...
Did you see that? He goes. He bounces his shoulders 3 times. I don't know if it's a tick. I don't watch.
They take anonymous sources from disgruntled former employees.
You see that when he says the word disgruntled?
From disgruntled former employees.
He bounces. What a weird tale. Now go back and watch this video again. I'm sure you didn't see it in this one. It's harder to see. But when he stands up and faces the camera, he goes. He bounces 3 times. He does it 3 times in this interview.
Was shared with a journalist in The Atlantic. And were those details classified?
Right there. That's one. Waiting on the question.
You're talking about a deceitful and highly
There's two.
credited.
As soon as he says deceitful, that's two, right?
Classified.
You're talking about a deceitful and
Deceitful. He deceitful. What the fuck's he doing? What's he doing? Is it when he's gonna? It's only when the only time I can find him doing it. He doesn't do it in his prepared speeches. He doesn't do it when he's got something written down and he's talking in his office or whatever. He only does it when someone's pressing against him. So it's either a nervous response or when he's lying or something. It's only when someone comes to him with some type of contention, some type of question challenging his position, right? Or challenging his story or whatever, or calling him out, right?
discredited so-called journalist who's
There it is again. So-called journalist. What the fuck you doing? Bobbing for cocks? What are you doing over there?
made a profession of peddling hoaxes time and time again, to include the hoaxes
That's what they used to call it. When I was in boot camp, they made us so fucking tired. You'd be so tired that, like, when you sat down to, like, learn something, like in class or had a break or whatever, you couldn't go to sleep, but you couldn't control it. You just couldn't. Like, you'd be like, I'm wide awake. I'd be pinching the, like, inside of my leg, biting the inside of my cheek to, like, stay awake. Next thing you know, you just fucking wake up. There's a drill sergeant right here. But where we would fall asleep with our mouths open and our head would always fall down, they kept telling us it looked like we were all bobbing for cocks.
of Russia, or the fine people on
He
both,
does it again right here.
or suckers and losers hoax. So this is the guy that peddles in garbage. This is what he does. I would
There was two bounces.
comment on the Houthi campaign because of the skill and courage of our troops. I've monitored it very closely from the beginning, and you see, we've been managing.
The only reason I noticed this is because I was watching that video again with his kids in the background, and one of his kids' face was cut off. Like, you could only see like a portion of his face, and you could see him. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? Is he bouncing on his toes? What's he bouncing for?
Managing 4 years of deferred maintenance under the Trump administration. Our troops, our sailors were getting shot at as targets. Our ships couldn't sail through. And when they did shoot back, it was purely defensively or at shacks in Yemen. President Trump said, no more. We will reestablish deterrence. We will open freedom of navigation, and we will ultimately decimate the Houthis, which is exactly what we're doing as we speak from the beginning, overwhelmingly.
Bounce.
Shared on Signal, and how did you learn that a journalist was privy to the
I went back through, now, given he has years and years and years and years and years of Fox and Friends footage, but I went back through some of them, and I didn't see him bouncing then.
targets, the types of weapons
There he is. He's just bouncing there just randomly when they're asking him a question. Watch.
the types of weapons used. And
I've heard I was characterized. Nobody was texting war plans, and that's all I have to say.
You notice he didn't say, I didn't text about, equipment or weapons packages or timing, or it wasn't before the attack.
About that. Thank you.
Meth.
The NSC said it was
One question.
He's on that Jenny Crank diet, baby. Wild. Fucking Bert, man. I don't know. I want to show you a story out of Cobb County, Georgia. And it's really fucked up, okay? So basically, I heard this story when it first happened, and I saw this, and I honestly felt for the woman, okay? There was a woman who was in Walmart, and she calls the police because someone tried to steal her kid from her. Now, it was a weird setup because she says that she was on a disability scooter. Even though she doesn't need it, her kids like to ride around on it. So she had both of her kids with her, one on her lap in the mobility scooter, one on the floorboard. And she claims that a man, an Indian man, came up to her and asked her where aspirin was or something like that. And then when she went to point to where the aspirin was, when she went to point to where the aspirin was, that he tried to kidnap her son, and they got into a tug of war battle with her son, and she seemed like she was very upset by it. And that would be wild, dude. Somebody try to steal your kids like straight from your hand. That's pretty intense. Hold on, I'll give you her interview here. I think this is it.
Children home safe after someone tried to kidnap her 2-year-old son.
It happened during a trip to Walmart last week. Channel 2's Aaron Rodgers live.
And a lot of people felt bad for this woman.
Ackworth for us at the Walmart on Cobb Parkway. And Aaron, you spoke to that mom tonight.
I did, George and Wendy, and Caroline Miller told me she was taking her 2- and 4-year-old to Walmart to get some last-minute things for an upcoming vacation they had. But that scary encounter, well, it happened right through those doors at the pharmacy.
I'm just glad that he's still home.
All right, so that's her. Her kid's kind of behind the chat right now, but it's the little boy over here. You'll see him in a minute.
Thankful. That's how Caroline Miller is feeling after a frightening encounter at this Ackworth Walmart.
But as much as we would love to think it'll never happen, it will and does. And to be prepared for when it does.
She says her kids wanted to ride the motorized wheelchair. They were almost done shopping when she says 56-year-old Mahindra Patel asked for help finding Tylenol.
When I pointed my arm out this way to point it to the direction of where it was, that is when he reached down, put both his hands on Jude, and grabbed him out of my lap.
She says it happened
Grabbed him out of the lap.
so fast.
I'm like, no, 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 what are you doing? What are you doing? He pulled him, I pulled him back. We're tug-of-warring.
She says then he walked off, bought the Tylenol, and left.
We saw him checking out, but before we could really do anything, he was gone.
3 days later, police arrested.
Now, I want you to remember that. Before we could do anything, he was gone. We saw him checking out, but before we could do anything, he was gone.
Arrested Patel.
We were able to see the car he got into. And
now, obviously, Walmart's covered in cameras. He didn't just appear there, right? He didn't make a wish to a genie to be in Walmart. So they get him on all the cameras. They find his car and they go and arrest this man. He tried to kidnap a kid. He's in jail today. Today he's in jail.
And followed cameras and used our flock cameras in the city and was able to get a tag number and track him down.
But Miller still thinks Walmart needs to have better security.
Obviously, these places are targeted. You know, we know what's going on in the area around here. How many missing posters of kids do they?
So then she tries to tie it to some type of trafficking and all kinds of kids are missing and milk cartons or whatever.
On their very own wall.
She says she's now teaching her kids a lesson.
By the way, when you see the truth of this story, this is why people are fed up with white women, okay?
And she didn't think she'd have to this early.
She's more prepared for the situation if it ever happens again. She knows to scream now. He knows to kick and bite and get away.
And they did show me they know how to do both of those things very well. As for Patel, well, tonight he's in the Cobb County Jail charged with kidnapping and simple assault and battery charges. Live in Ackworth, I'm Aaron Rodgers, WSB Tonight.
Again, scary for that mom, but again, now her kids are armed with something to do if that ever happens again. Hopefully it does not. Aaron, thank you. Let's get to more details now. Police mentioned using flock cameras.
Now again,
As part of
Walmart,
in that case, flock
our kid carries a Glock. Walmart is covered in cameras. The only thing that I can think is this woman was drunk.
Shit's getting weird. Part infinity.
Surveillance video from inside the Ackworth Walmart shows Patel walk in.
There's our man. He just got there. He's there shopping for some pain reliever for his mother, his elderly mother.
And last month,
Shopping for Tylenol for his elderly mother.
as he walks the aisles, video shows him cross paths with this woman in a motorized wheelchair.
There's the woman with one kid on her lap, one kid in the floorboard, on her phone, driving around in a mobility scooter.
With a baby in her arms and a little girl under her feet.
She's pointing to where the Tylenol is.
Patel's back is to the...
He asks her, they speak, he asks her, where's the Tylenol? Now, his back is to the camera. I can zoom in if we want to. But what it looks like to me is, and the only thing I can get to explain this situation, is the boy on her lap almost fell. It looks like, you be the judge of this, it looks like the boy was getting ready to fall on the floor and he caught him. But here we go.
the camera, but as the chair moves forward, he appears to lean in. That's when the mother says he picked up her son. She did not respond to requests to comment on the new video.
Now, again, he does one quick like this kind of deal, and the mother grabs him and he starts walking away. Now, you could still argue like, oh, he tried to jerk that kid away. But how does the mother act after it happens? Does she act like someone who almost lost their kid?
Video, but told us last month
He pulled him, I pulled him back. We're tug of warring.
And this video is very clear that did not happen.
she says her client thought the kid was going to fall, so he was helping her readjust. Video shows him back up. She points to something.
So again, she points him, after this happens, he backs up and she points him again to the Advil or Aleve or whatever.
And he moves in that direction. The mom says she
He goes and gets it.
need the wheelchair, but her kids wanted to ride it. She has trouble driving it and backed into shelf
She backed into this shelf while driving the mobility scooter.
and appears to run over her child's foot.
Run over her own kid. This is before she met the Indian man. She backed into this giant shelf and ran over her own child with the mobility scooter. The only thing I can say is she's drunk.
With it.
This man even jumped to help the child when the child fell.
So this man jumps and helps the child as well.
That's what people do.
While that's happening, an employee helps Patel find the Tylenol. He holds it up as he talks to.
He comes back to her before he leaves. He asks where the Tylenol is. She points him in the direction. Kid falls. He gives the kid back. She points him in the direction again. They talk again. He walks off. Employee helps him. He comes back with the Tylenol and says, "Thank you. I found it," and shows her the box.
The mom on his way to the checkout counter.
He's not fleeing, as the police have said.
He came back and said, "Thank you for your help. I found it." And she's claiming they just had a tug of war with her kid while she was backing over her other kid.
Fleeing. He's using his debit card. He's talking with an employee here, paying for it in his own name.
He stops to talk to a worker before.
He stops and talks to multiple people that he knows from his local Walmart. Like, "Hey, how's work going?" "Oh, yeah, not too bad."
Leaving, and police arrested Patel days later. Last week, a grand jury indicted him for attempted kidnapping.
Dude, is this not insane? Yeah, first of all, she shouldn't have been on the mobility scooter, even if her kids wanted to do it. But why did she go and make this claim to the police? She was fine when he left. They spoke multiple times, even after the supposed kidnapping. They've ruined this guy's life. Like, he's gonna get off, but all the bad press, they've ruined his life.
Kidnapping, assault, and battery. He's been in jail nearly a month now. His attorney plans.
And is still in jail right now. So the attorney made a statement that basically said, the charge is so serious, or the claim is so serious, that it's incredibly hard to like get him out on jail and bond or whatever. We're just gonna have to go to court with it.
To ask for bond in 3 weeks.
Unless this dude has some prior stuff that I don't know about and that's why he's in jail, I'm going to say this with my entire chest. That should be crazy. If you...
By the way, the other guy that jumped up to help the kid that she ran over, he was white, and she never said he was trying to kidnap her daughter, right? He jumped, grabbed the kid, pulled it out from underneath the cart after she ran her own child over.
If you make false allegations against someone and it's proven that the allegations were false, you need to go directly to hell.
I'm telling you right now, someone said body cams in chat. That's probably not a bad idea. Or at least I have my hot button on my phone to where if I double tap the lock button, it opens and starts recording a video. Just whoever, even if it's in my pocket, it records audio at least. But dash cameras are a big thing too. We both have dash cameras now, me and Mariah, all because a bunch of claims that were made about us that we had to go disprove in court, which the cameras came in handy. The guy was lying about everything, but we needed them.
Can't send you to hell, then you need to go to jail. Close enough. Seriously, false allegations are wild. And this is not the same.
She's not making any more comments, by the way. She's not speaking about it. I don't think. 56-year-old Patel is charged with attempted kidnapping, simple battery, and simple assault after police say he tried to kidnap a little boy inside a Walmart on Cobb Parkway. Patel's attorney shared surveillance video of him in the store that says she shows Patel speaking with the child's mother and attempting to assist her. Ackworth police say they are aware of what they called the partial video that was released, but they cannot release additional details because it's an active and ongoing investigation. Unless he runs back in there and like jerks the kid away from her. If that's what they've got, if that's it, bullshit. And it's his lawyer that released it, right? It's his lawyer that released it. 56. His lawyer has to have all the evidence, right? They can't be holding some evidence, right? So his lawyer could be pulling a fast one on us, I guess. And there's like a missing part where he tries to steal the kid. This is crazy. Patel's being held in Cobb County Jail without bond. Ackworth police say that last month, Patel tried to snatch a little boy from his mother's arms inside Walmart on Cobb County Parkway. Now, again, she said, we saw him checking out, but it happened so quick that there was nothing we could do, right? That was in her statement. But he comes back 3 minutes later and talks to her again and says, hey, thanks, we found it. Patel's attorney, Merchant, says the video she shared with Fox 5 shows that's not what happened. You can see where Mr. Patel enters the store. You can see where he first encounters Miss Miller. Carolyn Miller can be seen in the video using a motorized cart. She has one child at her feet and another in her lap. In the footage, Patel's back as the camera. Merchant says her client is simply asking Miss Miller where the Tylenol is. She insists he was not trying to take the child. You can't see this tug of war grabbing back and forth. You can see him lean in, and it's very likely he was doing what he said, which is to keep the child from falling from her lap. Like one of the boy that's in her lap was basically leaning over, and he helped to stabilize the kid. Later, after Patel leaves the area, the video shows Miss Miller crashing her car into a display, causing one child to fall. Another man steps in to help as well. The video also shows Patel picking up the Tylenol he was searching for and showing it to Miss Miller as he walks by. He shows it to her and gives her a big thumbs up, Merchant said. Patel is then seen checking out, paying with a debit card, and speaking with employees as he exits the store. He's not fleeing. He's not in a hurry. He's not running away, not trying to hide what just happened. You don't see anything. Ackworth police released a statement saying that while they are limited in the details they can provide in order to preserve the integrity of the case, they are aware of the partial video that has been released to the public. Merchant says there are approximately 70 hours of surveillance video. She says she released segments showing the interaction between Patel and the child's mother. I tried very carefully to make sure all the different angles were able to be viewed. Perhaps they could go back and watch all the surveillance videos and see, said Merchant. A grand jury indicted Patel on charges of attempted kidnapping, simple battery, and simple assault. He has been in jail for 27 days and has a bond hearing scheduled up for May 6th. It's insane, dude. If that's all it is, that's insane. We'll watch it one more time, and I won't pause it this time.
Don't happen. They do. But every time a false allegation happens, shit's getting weird. Part infinity.
Surveillance video from inside the Ackworth Walmart shows Patel walk in last month.
Shopping for Tylenol for his elderly mother.
As he walks the aisles, video shows him cross paths with this woman in a motorized wheelchair with a baby in her arms and a little girl under her feet.
She's pointing to where the Tylenol is.
Patel's back is to the camera, but as the chair moves forward, he appears to lean in. That's when the mother says he picked up her son. She did not respond to requests to comment on the new video, but told us last month
He pulled him, I pulled him back. We're tug-of-warring.
And this video is...
It seems like she might be drunk. That's why she can't drive the scooter. That's why she runs over her own kid. That might fuck with her memory and be the reason why she thought she could get away with this. Because most people would think, like, if this didn't really happen, and I tell the police, there's like 1,000 security cameras inside a Walmart.
Very clear that did not happen.
She says her client thought the kid was going to fall, so he was helping her readjust. Video shows him back up. She points to something as he picked up her son. She did not...
By the way, this is the whole interaction. She claims a back and forth and kidnapping. Watch. This is the whole interaction. I'm going to zoom in and I'll show it to you one more time. The whole interaction is less than a second.
pointing to where the Tylenol is.
Patel's back is to the camera.
Not yet. Not yet. Starts right now.
Appears to lean in. That's when the
And then ends right now.
picked up her.
That's it.
She did not respond to requests to comment on the new video, but told us last month.
He pulled him. I pulled him back. We're tug of warring.
And this video is very clear that that did not happen.
She says her client thought the kid was going to fall, so he was helping her readjust. Video shows him.
It almost seems like maybe the kid was leaning out and she went to go forward to point around the corner where the whatever painkiller was, right? And she went forward and also trying to point. So she had one hand on the throttle and the other hand pointing. And if the kid was leaning out, that jerk of her moving could have caused him to almost fall. But you could, like, if this happened, you would think that she would be screaming and talking to this guy and saying, this guy's trying to steal my kid. Someone call 911. He was trying to kidnap me. But not just riding around and backing into stuff and talking to other people.
Him back up. She points to something and he moves in that direction. The mom says she doesn't need the wheelchair, but her kids wanted to ride it. She has trouble driving it, backed into shelves, and appears to run over her child's foot with it.
This man even jumped to help the child when the child fell.
That man lifted the cart so her kid could get out from underneath it.
That's what people do.
While that's happening, an employee helps Patel find the Tylenol. He holds it up as he talks to the mom on his way to the checkout counter.
And then him stopping back by and saying, look, I found it, and giving her a thumbs up. And she's like, yeah, good job. That's it. That's the one I use, or whatever she says here. There's a whole nother interaction where she doesn't scream, kidnapper, rapist, you piece of shit.
People do.
While that's happening, an employee helps Patel find the Tylenol. He holds it up as he talks to the mom on his way to...
She fans her hand, and then she does like a thumbs up almost,
He's not
like this.
fleeing, as the police have said. He's not fleeing.
And she's watching a video. Hold on. She's watching a video on her phone in landscape mode. So obviously she's not too worried about calling the cops and reporting this kidnapping. She's watching a video on her phone in landscape mode. Right after her kid was almost kidnapped, allegedly. Right after this kid tug of war happened. She's watching a YouTube video. The only thing I can think is maybe the grand jury either didn't see the security camera or they only saw that little snippet where there was like some interaction with the back turned, and then just relied very heavily on this woman's testimony because he wouldn't testify. I don't know. There's no, I guess he could have testified. He could have spoke at the grand jury. There's no like defense at a grand jury. That's not what it's for, right? You do have a right to testify before a grand jury, and you have a right to consult with your attorney outside of the courtroom, but there isn't like a defense you put on at the time. So I don't know if he spoke or not. But there's something so weird, unless it was like a secret, under secrecy. No, you generally don't have a defense attorney present during a grand jury proceedings. However, you do have the right to testify before the grand jury and consult with your attorney outside the jury room. At first I thought you weren't even, are you even present for a grand jury? Hold on. That's what I thought before. Like you weren't even there, right? Okay, that's right. No, the defendant is generally not present during a grand jury proceedings. Grand jury proceedings are not adversarial, meaning the defendant and their attorney are not present for witness testimony. The grand jury's okay, so whatever AI told me the first time was wrong. You're not present for a grand jury, like I thought. It's like they just present a case and see if they have enough to bring charges.
Police have said he's not fleeing. He's using his debit card. He's talking.
Yeah, the kid doesn't seem scared at all when he returns. And the fact that he just didn't like drop the Tylenol and run out of the store or, you know, try to hide his face, nothing.
An employee here, paying for it within his own name.
He stops to talk to a worker before leaving.
She also has a case against Lyft for being assaulted by a driver. Oh.
Police arrested Patel days later. Last week, a grand jury indicted him for
Dude, have you guys seen those? This will probably give me a copyright strike. Have you guys seen the video of the girls that go to the drive-through safari? And they're like, they're at a drive-through safari and they accidentally feed the zebras. And the zebras are basically fucking attacking them. And then they read the pamphlet and it's like, don't feed the zebras. And they're like freaking out about it. It's, God damn, it's so funny. Let me see if I can find it. I know I shared it to Mariah. Here it is. I didn't mean to do that, damn it. It's so funny. Right, if there's enough to go to trial. To bring charges and go to trial. What happened to his headache? Who knows?
Well, yeah, this kind of like that.
Get out of the car. No, do not feed the zebras. Do not feed the zebras. It says don't feed the zebras. Oh, no. Oh, no. It says don't feed the zebras. They're heading for antlers. No one, Julie, look at the baby cow. Julie, go away. Oh, my God. Oh, my God, I'm so sorry. Oh, I can't even move.
They can't get away from him.
Oh my God, Julie.
When she grabs it by the neck, dude. She has to grab it by the neck and shove it out of the car. He reminds me of that lady that's always fighting that emu at her farm. And literally the pamphlet says, do not feed the zebras.
He's biting your car, Sierra. Oh my God. Look at Jolie. Oh my God. My car needs to go.
All the snacks that they have to feed the animals are now in the floorboard.
He's biting me, Sierra. Sierra. Oh my God.
It pulled the windowsill loose.
Oh my God. Oh, it smells so bad. Oh, he just spit. Ah! No, he's gonna spit. Oh my God. Actually, oh my God, no, he's gonna spit. No, stop, funny. He's gonna spit. Oh my God. He's biting his ears. Oh, they're biting.
Have you ever done something?
It's pretty good. It's a pretty funny video. I'm sure Viral Hog or somebody owns it and they'll probably copyright strike this video, but it's pretty good. Oh. There's a longer version of just them two. That was just somebody reviewing it. I don't know where the original is.
ABCs of Trump by Kenzie Mazing. Now The ABCs of Trump. The ABCs of Trump by Kenzie Mazing. Now I know my ABCs. No, you don't. A is for America. America, I think. America but cold. America but up north. America but down south. And the fucking Gulf of America. B is for big league. I'm going to cut taxes. Big league. For the wealthy. C is for China. China. D is for defund. Defund schools. Defund woke. Defund federal government. Defund nonprofits. Defund everything except the rich. He looks like there's like white shit on his head. Like in Step Brothers, like the white dog shit.
Ah.
E is for Elon. Elon is great. Elon is head of Doge. Elon didn't need this. I love Elon. F is for fake news. It's totally fake news. Made up. Fake. These tiny hands.
He just resubscribed for 33 months.
Oh, man. You're so close to 3 years. Thank you very much for the subscription. Bert's going to be mad about that, but thank you. I appreciate it. Bert's mad about everything.
Wait, tiny hand? What is...
If Bert knew how much money I made from this show, compared to his one man show over there. Oh man, he wouldn't make it through another night.
What's happening here?
He'd have to pawn his equipment to go buy a pistol just so he could suck start it.
I love when the illustrations are fucking weird. Gee,
Get a loner.
great. I was saved by God to make America great again. H.
God. Now y'all are pissing off Bert. Damn it. Double it and give it to the next one. Thank you very much. 22 months. Thank you. You're close to 2 years.
Is for hate.
Some of you guys have been around way longer. I would have already lost interest in me, to be honest with you. But thank you.
Hate Taylor Swift. We love her. And you know why you hate her? Because you're the smallest man who ever lived.
There you go. The ABCs of Trump. It reminds me of that.
Legend of Pretzel just resubscribed for 30 months.
Legend.
Saying this for almost a month.
You get mentioned. Thank you very much for the resubscription. You get mentioned by Bert. By named. Well, he can't actually read. So he's like, Lego, see all these people here? You get mentioned. Almost by name. So you guys are really trying to piss him off. Now, we got a hype train going, chat. Bert, you know what a hype train is? No, I'll just assume you don't. Let's get into it, I guess. I get more views than Alex Jones does. Here we go.
The roast continued.
More screen time than Alex Jones on Bert's show.
Oh, man. So, and apparently there was something else today that happened. I haven't had a chance to go view that. But I guess they played a prank on him today. I can't imagine. Okay.
Damn it.
2370 just subscribed.
You are actually trying to piss off Bart, aren't you? Thank you very much. I appreciate the subscription.
So somebody make a comment. There you are. They're still here. Hey, good.
He has to ask his chat to be like, somebody make a comment. Are you guys still here or no? I can't tell. Everybody left.
Okay, folks, I'm going to have to change the tone of the show here for a minute.
Here we go. Tone change. Tone has changed.
But things have to be addressed.
So his big expose of me is me telling the story about Nick Swick last night. And I would never, ever, 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 ever out somebody that needed help sometimes. Hell, I've needed help before, right? But there are people that are still in my community. His big thing is like the money that we made from Nick Swick didn't get donated. There's been other people that have verified that the money was donated. But there are actually people in my community that I helped. I would never mention them by name. I would never ask them to mention themselves by name. But there are people in this community that I helped, that I donated to. Thank you very much for the subscription. Thank you very much. Like, we donated the money. It was just a few $100s. Bert thinks because we got millions of views that we made millions of dollars, I guess. I don't know. But the channel wasn't monetized. It happened so quick, I couldn't even get approved for monetization.
Things have to be addressed. And here it is.
Here it is. Will's the grifter.
There's been a feud going on between myself and some of the people that used to be a supporter of mine and are not anymore.
I think it's just a feud with you. They like to laugh when you're dumb, but I don't know that they're actually feuding with you.
You guys will probably remember that about a year ago.
You guys would know that there's a feud going on in my head and no one else is involved, but I talk about it all the time.
Getting harassed very heavily by Will Bird over at his show called Cold Beer Confessionals. Why did that happen? Well, it happened because two of my supporters left.
There you go. 100% it was donated. That's right.
Left my show for this simple reason. And I'm going to get into it because I'm going to show you something that's going to surprise you.
Trust me, I would be a lot more upset about it if it was like thousands of dollars and I was like, I have to give this away. It was just a few $100s. In fact, I think by the time it was all said and done, I probably lost money because I put in some of my own money and the money that was raised because at the time my real show was doing well. And then there were so many chargebacks afterwards. I'm pretty sure I lost money on the deal. It's hard to figure out because we made this money and I donated it in real time. And then like 3 months later, I was doing chargebacks and paying them some of them back. Some of them I was able to keep. It's hard to tell. But if anything, worst case scenario, I may have made like $100 that got donated and lost the other a couple hundred or whatever. But I had to pay some of those charges back, right? So what happened was a few $100s got donated. to me. I donated it to other people, several other people. And then the show ended, everything ended, whatever. I went on with my life. And like a month or two later, I get an email from PayPal saying, hey, some people are disputing these charges. And I was able to send them like one email explaining what happened. Like, hey, we donated, because it's through PayPal. It's not a real email. It's like a PayPal message. Hey, I donated this money to needy people. We helped some people with their groceries, some people with their electric bill. We helped somebody get a phone, things like that. And if they refused it, then I just had to pay them or risk getting my PayPal shut down. And if they went along with it, then I got to keep the money. So it's hard to keep up with. And by keep the money, it was money that I'd already donated. So I didn't really get to keep it.
And for all of you people that go over to watch Wilbur that are in my room right now, because there's
right now,
and I've only got about 6 or 7 of you in the chat room. And is there a reason why the haters are not in the
70 people and 6 people chatting.
Chat room? You're damn right, because I've got a great Terminator. And if you came in here and started stuff, guess what? You can't get back in. And it's real hard to create a second profile on Rumble.
No, it's not. Chat, how hard is it to create a burner account on Rumble? I know some of you got them. I've seen them. I've got them. All you need is a second email address. And email addresses are free, Bert.
It's real hard to do it. If you're sitting at the same IP address, you're not making a second one. So, my haters started.
Bert's IP banning people.
My participants, who was never an investor, decided to break from me because I wouldn't do the QAnon thing. They wanted
the one that wanted to sleep with me but was fat, I think.
On a daily basis, they wanted me to support that movement. And I had gone to the...
Even Tricia says she has more than one Rumble account.
Or to the events.
What are you, some type of hacker?
With all these people like Brad Barton and, who else was there? I mean, all the people that were involved in the so-called truth movement were at these events. And, just because...
By the way, for a guy that prides himself in doing all this audio bullshit and how you were a star and you know everything, you got this setup, you got this mixer, why the fuck is your shit constantly crackling and buzzing, dude? I know you can't hear it right now, but wait till I start the video again. It's going constantly.
Because you were there for 3 days to present whatever it is you're presenting doesn't necessarily mean you agree with everybody who gets up on the stage and does a presentation.
It sounds like you might be picking up, like if you don't have some type of isolated electronics, it sounds like you might be picking up like an extension cord or something ran across or too close to or across one of your something, right? Too close to your mixer or across an XLR cable, something. There's some type of interference there. It's not clean power.
Lynn Wood was there. Scott McKay. I've got video of me and Scott McKay together. I did the national anthem at one of his events. I was invited to another one, but I didn't attend it because the people with Scott McKay and I did not agree on some stuff. And I never had an argument with Scott McKay. I never had a disagreement with him. I don't dislike him. But the rumor out there is that you and Scott McKay are feuding. No, we're not. I had a disagreement with him.
There's no rumor. Scott McKay doesn't know who the fuck you are.
His manager over an event that we were going to attend. And I said, it's unacceptable. I can't travel all the way to Phoenix. And so on those terms. And so just have to tell Scott I'm not coming. And he's not going to be happy about that. I said, well, I'm not happy about it either. I said, I've already said on my social media I was going to be there, but you're the one that's giving me these Zelensky type rules that I can't go by. So it's not my fault.
Zelensky type rules that I can't. What the fuck does that mean?
But anyway, Scott McKay was there, and Scott McKay is a big QAnon guy. And so was Lynn Wood, and there were other people there that were there just about the religious side of it was the part that I was most interested in, and also because of an opportunity for me to go and say.
I think it's called what do they call it? A conditioner. You have these. It's basically like a big bulky looking power strip, but it conditions the power to where it's clean when it comes out. Isolator, conditioner. There's different words for them. Ground loop isolator, I think. Those things give you clean power when it comes in to your audio equipment if you're getting shit like this. Plus, it's just good habit to isolate. Like, wherever you're running your mic cable to, running your electric cable somewhere the fuck else. At least a few feet away. Yeah, his shit buzzes constantly, dude, and it's worse when he's quiet.
Physically, thank you to hundreds and hundreds of people who reached out to help me whenever I was in need.
Happy birthday to your youngest.
I even got criticized for that. Well, we donated to him and he bought an airplane ticket. Yeah, to come see you guys. And I was invited to do that by Brad Barton. And I spent the whole weekend with Brad Barton and Darlene Chapman, who both are neither one talking to me now, because
that's Brad and Rita Big Thumbs.
I badmouthed the QAnon movement. And then, so here's the deal. The two people that left.
I'm pretty sure Rita called him out as a grifter as well.
My show, that were supporting my show, claim now that it had nothing to do with QAnon. It's bullshit. I've got it all written. I've got it in writing. Okay. I've got recordings. Trust me. That's why I keep challenging them to take me to court. But
why would Brad? Okay, whatever.
To do the QAnon thing, and I was told by, she's passed away now. I'm not being disrespectful, but history has to be told. Kelly Pervin was my.
He cannot stop talking. Every show he falls back on this. This is my IT person, and they hated me. This was my investor that was paying my rent and giving me large sums of money. Now they hate me. This is Marianne Mann, who Will Bird invented a nickname for. No, I didn't. There's evidence that you did that. But who now hates me. I begged her for money in private messages.
My IT person and her husband.
Make sure all your gear is plugged into the same circuit to avoid ground looping or unbalanced sources. No, thanks. Thank you very much for the gifted subscription to Marianne Mann.
They have given 2 gift subs in the channel.
No, thanks for that. All I know about it is what I've figured out doing this. I'm not a professional lounge dweller. All I know is if I run my heavy power cables anywhere near my XLR shit, it fucking picks up the electricity flowing to it. Makes feedback.
He's an IT guy.
Thank you.
IT company, but he's not very good at it. I'm just going to say he's not very good at it because the equipment that he worked on, it has never worked right. And my newest IT person says there was a virus on it from day one. And
I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with IT, but the people that need IT are always the people that are going to complain. They don't know what they're doing. They just charging me money. I don't know what they're doing. If you knew that they didn't know what they're doing, you could just do it. And I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. My new IT guy, when's the last time you were worried about viruses? Like legitimately worried about McAfee and viruses and shit. Are you kidding me? The IT guy I talked to now says there's been a virus on it since day one. The IT guy should have figured that out. Rundown on what we're watching, please. This guy is, he used to be a lounge singer in Las Vegas. He does impersonations of like Johnny Cash and Elvis and stuff, whatever. He was in the military in the choir for a little bit. Someone said 11 months. I don't know how accurate that is. But he was a lounge singer, got cancer. He got the state, allegedly, to pay for all of his medical bills. He's never paid into Social Security. So even though he's at a retirement age, he can't retire. So instead, because he's a washed-up lounge singer and can't do that anymore, he made friends with people who were podcasters. And he thought, that's easy. I can make a ton of money doing podcasts. So he tried to do it. And he had these friends at the time that were raising a GoFundMe for him because he wasn't working. And he was going to start a podcast. Well, all those friends kind of moved away from him and basically call him a grifter now. He's had a bunch of people invest money with him, claiming that they were literally not donating. They were investing in his business. And he promised them returns by the end of that year, within a few months. He claimed that he was going to a new live streaming network and he would be getting $20,000 to $30,000 per ad read per show. And that's how he's going to pay these investors back. These investors have spent tons of money on him. They were paying his rent. They helped him build a studio all before he had an audience. They were paying his rent, helping build a studio. He needed the best studio equipment, this, that, the other, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on it. This motherfucker quit paying his rent for 5 months and got evicted from his house, which is also where his studio was. He blames everybody in the world except for himself. He won't get a job. He says this is his job. He can't go back to lounge singing because that's not a thing anymore. He won't work as anything else because he's got to spend all day watching the news so he can come repeat it on his podcast. He literally has about 10 active viewers, about 6 of them comment, and of those few viewers, there's a couple of sugar mamas that are paying all of his bills while he complains, why aren't I as big as Joe Rogan? Why aren't I the next Sean Hannity? All he does is complain about how small he's just a horrible person, okay? he has done some crazy, horrible things. Like he's talking bad right now about a lady that passed away that finally called him out for being a grifter. The original lady that invested probably the most with him has called him out as being a grifter and stopped sending him money. He blames her for getting evicted for whatever reason. One of the people that came to our show had text messages with him, and like they were talking back and forth, and she's like, I can't afford to pay my light bill. And he's like, you sure you can't send me $10? And she's like, look, I can't buy food. I only get like $25 a month in food stamps. And he's like, if you're only getting $25 a month, you're lying about your income. You could probably send me some money. Like, we've seen the messages. We've seen the proof. He's a horrible person, in my opinion. And for some reason, I called him out originally on his gross behavior. And for some reason, he thinks that we have some type of feud going. I could care less what he's doing. But he watches my show every night so he can bring up things and be like, look, Will's bad, so I'm good, kind of deal.
That's why I kept getting crashed computers, because I kept hooking the hard drive back up. That was
He doesn't know how to work any of his electronics. He doesn't know how to make memes. He doesn't know how to do anything, even though he's a professional.
The old one back up to the new stuff, and boom. So, and Will Bird has said he's a mountain of a man, and he wants to come and kick your ass. Okay, so let me just say this, Will Bird, because I know that your people are going to...
What? Oh, Kelly's husband is a huge dude. He would kick your ass, 100%.
So, and Will Bird has said he's a mountain of a man, and he wants to come and kick your ass. Okay, so let me just say this, Will Bird, because I know that your people are going to tell you to go watch this. Your boy can come on out here. His mountain of a man ass can come on out here. Do us both a favor. Get a camera guy, and make sure they're filming the whole thing. Okay, because
I don't know if have I ever showed you guys Kelly's husband? He's huge. He's legit huge, and he hates Bert with a passion. I guess that he woke up and woke up Kelly, which was the IT person that passed away. He's huge. Like, he looks like he's like a big Samoan dude. He's huge. He would destroy Bert.
You put your hands on me. We have a saying. I used to own a martial arts studio.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. I trained extensively for 20 years.
Oh my God.
I'm 5'11", and when I'm in shape, I'm 185 pounds. Right now, I'm too heavy.
What? 230.
Doesn't mean I still can't defend myself.
Okay.
Mountain of a man. What we call guys like that in the studio at my gym, trophy bucks. That's what you are. You're a trophy buck. So run the camera when you come
at my gym, at my dojo. When you come into my dojo, you're a trophy buck. Now he owned a studio. This is the first time he's ever come out and said he is the studio owner.
So that we got good documentation of my news trophy. I'm not going to take threats lightly, but I'm also not going to be afraid of anybody. So Will Bird goes on his show last night and brags about how he pretended to be a QAnon guy and got millions and millions of views and took all of his people on his
millions and millions
platforms.
Millions.
And it's Patreon, where you have to pay. Will Bird has figured out a way to make money off these podcasts that I can't do, because I don't have 5 or 6 people sitting in the chat room all night long saying, please donate to Bert, please donate to Bert. There's people in his chat room.
Well, you don't have an audience at all. I mean, I don't have a huge audience, but you don't have an audience at all.
All night long, that's all they did. Please donate, please donate, please donate. I don't have anybody doing that in my chat room. I got my moderators, they're busy moderating. And I don't have family that sits in there and a wife that sits in there. That's what he does. So he said that he went on there and pretended to be a QAnon guy. Yeah, I'm going to play it for you. You're going to see him say it himself. And he saw...
So the entire story that I told last night, he thinks he's got me. I told the story, Bert. What do you think you got, buddy?
Millions of views. And there were things about Will Bird and I, we agree on a lot of things. But he's so busy hating on me that he can't even point that out. Because I think the QAnon movement is a bunch of crap, too. And I refuse to do it. Kelly Pervin, who was my IT person, said to me, you have to do QAnon. You have to talk about it. It's like a soap opera. It's like a soap. In fact, I mentioned this on my show once without mentioning her name. I said, someone that I know told me this is like a soap opera, and everybody has to have their daily fix of QAnon, or they're just not satisfied. And I'm sorry, folks, but I'm not going to do that. That's what I said. I'll go back and find the episode and tell you where to go look. There's probably people that are listening right now that remember me saying this. I'm sure there are people in this chat room right now that probably remember me saying it. I did not mention her name, but it was Kelly Pervin that said that to me.
Okay.
And I said, I'm not going to do it because I don't believe it, and I'm not going to lie to my audience. I also said, everybody tried to get me to sign up for Brad's multi-level marketing thing in the beginning when Brad was still talking to me. Sign up for this now, Bert, you'll make thousands. Because you'll have a big influence in your audience and you'll get them all in your downline. I don't believe in multi-level marketing. I've never seen anybody. Even
the QAnon people that he used to run around with are basically calling him grifters now. So Brad doesn't mention him by name, but it said something. Rita Chapman has said something basically like they've all figured out like it's everybody else's fault. It's never his fault. All his stuff is pawned. He didn't pay his rent. That's someone else's fault. He lost his job. That's someone else's fault. He got cancer. That's someone else's fault. He can't get viewers. That's someone else's fault. Alex Jones steals his material. That's someone else's. It's always somebody else.
But the people at the top ever make any money at it. And I'm not going to, I quit doing telemarketing because I could not bring myself after my cancer and after that I came back to Jesus. And that's what I did. My prayers were answered. And I now have to keep my promise to the Lord. And I won't do anything publicly that I think is bullcrap just to make money at it. Do I ask for donations? I do. Do all the podcasters? Yes. Do I ask you to buy merchandise? Yes, I do. I work my ass off.
Have I ever been in any of you guys' private messages arguing with you about how much money you make and why that means that you should be sending me more money? Does that ever happen to anybody in my chat? Just curious.
Off on that merchandise store. I worked my ass off to get a show together today and get you guys a show. I've been at it since 1:30 this afternoon to get all this together for you. I have to watch all these and read all this news and watch all this news to know what the hell I'm talking about. And sometimes I get it wrong. And when I do, what happens? I come on here and tell you I got it wrong. You guys know that's true. But I refuse to do Q just to make money.
All right, real quick. Here is Kelly, her kids, and her husband. Like, he's a big dude. He's a big dude. I don't know that Bert can Judy chop him, but maybe so. I don't know. Maybe Bert's got the Judy chop. Look how evil he looks. He looks like that Uncle Baby Billy preacher. That's what Bert could be, as a televangelist.
I just like I refuse to sell certain things in a timeshare, which I'm not going to say because I've found out from one of my former timeshare people. Well, I just said timeshare.
He's 6'4".
Hey, you shouldn't say that about us. Someone's still trying to make money at it. Well, that's not me. I'm never doing that again. Because when I was dying, I asked God to forgive me, and I said, I'll stop doing certain things, and I have stopped doing all those certain things. I'm going to talk about them. They're too personal. But I've kept my end of the bargain, and I'm still alive. So say what you want to about me, but I'm telling you right now, what this guy's getting ready to tell you,
God's keeping him alive for this.
If you're over there in that other Bert Lynch page that's always criticizing me, pay attention to this. So this was Will
Bert, can you tell everybody next time you're doing a show and you bring me up since you watch my show every night, can you tell everybody the cruise lines that you worked for and which ones you're banned from?
Heard last night. All right. Now there's just so much to unpack here. So let's go do it. I said I'd never give this guy publicity, but he opened the gate. This is the opening, this cameo that he does here. He actually paid this person to do this. And it gives you an idea of his mindset.
Did I pay this person to do this? Is that what happened? Bert's IT person is,
Okay, it is going to play, right?
Right.
Lines and hook us up. Or if they're putting conduit in and they're people who run the lines come in a year from now and do it. I have no.
Loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyway, Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage.
One of these women gave Bert like over $85K total as an not a donation, as an investment. And was supposed to be seeing returns by the end of that year. That was 2 years ago.
Now, FYI, the way this works is you send a script to this person who's a social media influencer. You send them a script, and they read that script, and you pay them for it. So this is what he wanted them to.
Is that how it works? Is that what happened, Bert?
Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Vindeland. So enjoy.
The power of Christ compels you to give little Bert a little kiss.
Uh-oh.
The show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Welcome, everybody. I am Will Bird.
Now, first thing he's going to do is he's going to ask for donations and tell everybody how to go find out how to send money to him. And he does nothing but criticize people like me who do the same thing. This is the mindset, and this is the personality. You guys get to enjoy it, but you're going to learn something here today.
And this.
I hate listening to myself.
If you want to support the show, 10K on TikTok or all the other platforms that are listed there. And there's also ways to donate and support the show. So think of that. Real quick, before we get started, I remembered what we were talking about at the end of last night's show. So a lot of you guys are newer viewers, took my Patreon members with me for a secret plan.
Hey, you guys probably heard this story last night, right? I made a secret Q channel. We pretended like we had insider knowledge about President Trump, like all the other Q-tards do. People wanted to donate, so I did turn on donations, but I donated it all to other people that were in need in my community and other communities. We had viewers like crazy. We couldn't get it monetized. We got a lot of views. We couldn't get it monetized. We had a Telegram channel too. The alias I took up was Nick Swick. Like nothing can stop what is coming. I told the whole story last night.
It was only my upper tier Patreon members that knew what was going on. So I had them all.
But I didn't do this alone. It wasn't just like I was like, I'm going to be a grifter and nobody will know. I took like 50 people with me. Everybody was in my Patreon were part of it. Like the inside joke. That's what kept me honest. That's right. Like I wouldn't have done it if that hadn't been the thing. I wouldn't have been like a secret grifter channel. I had like 50 people watching behind the scenes that all knew. They could out me at any moment.
Make fake YouTube accounts that were like MAGA Mom and Trump Granny and shit like that, right? Like Q-tard YouTube accounts. And I started a channel called Nick Swick. His name and like this background, there's like Dave X22 guy, a playing figure, and that.
Now I'm going to interrupt here. You guys remember that I appeared on their show and I called them out. See, it's Will and I agree on some stuff.
Penny.
Who show?
I'm going to interrupt here. You guys.
Channel called the Frog News Network. And it was a guy named Doug Kuzma who died of COVID, and another guy named Mike Penny.
Now I'm going to interrupt here. You guys remember that I appeared on their show and I called them out. See, it's Will and I agree on some stuff.
Everybody's called out Frog News.
Mike Penny was con man, and he ripped me off. He actually owes me money. I think he might. Somebody said he's dying. I'm not sure.
I hope so.
Kuzman has passed. But I walked away from that crowd about the time that he's talking about.
Who sounds like
proud of you.
COVID. And they were together, and one night we were covering them, and they announced that it was that the reevaluation had started.
So this is a reevaluation video. This is what gave me the idea to do the channel. We did an announcement of reevaluation was starting in Puerto Rico. And then my insider source was Frog News Network. It got like over a million views. It probably got 5 million views altogether. By the time people stole it and re-uploaded it and shit like that, YouTube took it down. It was never monetized.
Get your money, get down, and then I'll Q-talk.
Now, folks, and I told you guys, and I remember seeing that video, and I remember you guys remember what I said about that video. I said, and this is a video he created, and I didn't know it was him. And I told you guys, don't believe this. It's a bunch of bullcrap.
Oh, okay.
So
Bert saw my video.
And that was.
It's not like there's millions of videos announcing the start of Nasara Gassara. Bert saw mine and knew it was mine.
I'm getting my mom a new truck and blah, blah, tend to be Q-tards and start celebrating. So people are like, I can't believe it. It just hit my bank account.
I miss
I'm paying
Doug.
off my mortgage. I'm getting my mom a new truck and blah, blah, blah.
Now, folks, I remember that happening, and I remember seeing that video, and I remember you guys remember what I said about that video. I said, and this is a video he created. And
it buzzes worse when he's playing my video.
And I told you guys, don't believe this. It's a bunch of bullcrap. Okay? So.
Beds. All my fans were cheering. That was what we did like 2 years ago. That video, when I launched that video got 1 million views before YouTube took it down.
When he muted right then, the buzzing stopped. It's in his mic. Listen.
Cheering. That was what we did like 2 years ago. That video, when I launched that video got 1 million views.
Hear that? Buzzing stopped.
Beds. All my fans were cheering. That was what we did like 2 years ago. That video, when I launched that video got 1 million views before YouTube took it down.
Then he unmuted.
1 million views in like 6 days. My best video I've ever made. And I didn't have a disguise on or nothing. They just didn't watch any of my other content. There's Doug. Thank you for visiting us from the afterlife, Doug. Now, not only did I get 1 million views, people stole that video and uploaded it to their channel. And some had like 1.7 million, like 1.3 million.
Rip Doug.
We got, from what I know of people stealing it, that video probably got 5 million views. And that's just the people that I saw stole it and re-uploaded it. So a year later, I came up with this Nick Swick idea. And I told all my people, this was secret because it's on Patreon.
Oh, welcome back, Doug. Thanks for joining us.
John, that's where you have to like pay, and I send you the link. It's like extra content.
I hope we're not disturbing you. I don't know how bored you are in X39 heaven. I don't know where you went.
So all my people, all my mods had fake accounts. Mariah had a fake account. Everybody had MAGA accounts. And we went into this Nick Swick, and I started a Telegram page called by Trump.
He does, because he's been found out. He does the same stuff about himself.
About like the top guy, and we're going to this.
He was doing the same thing that Phil Godlewski does. He says the same stuff about himself, that he works for the CIA, that he being called by the government. He's hiding out right now. He's not doing shows anymore because he's been found out to be exactly what he was accused of. I defended it until he got actually convicted because.
Yeah, because you're an idiot.
I don't accuse people of something I don't have absolute proof of. And
oh, okay. Well, you're an idiot. I got absolute proof. this guy was still saying, this idiot, instead of going and looking up any of the court documents, any of the press releases, any of the things around it, right? This guy was just repeating what Phil said. This crazy girl, he was trying to talk to her, and she just kept messaging him a lot, and he shouldn't have been doing that. But that's all he did, guys. That's all he did.
But now it looks like the proof is there.
Place, and they're gonna let me interview and talk about the trials and blah blah blah. And I would drop. People started hounding me like, how do we support the show? How do we donate? So the idea we came up with was I would take donations through a separate donation link, and I donated that money.
I don't believe that for a second.
Okay.
Right here, right now, I'm gonna tell you right now. He may have donated some of it, but I don't believe that for a second.
Actually, I lost money on it. I'm almost positive.
And everybody that listen, I didn't take advantage of the Q people. I could have signed on to the Q thing.
Okay.
Rich.
He could have done it.
Yes, he did. But I didn't do
the patches don't work. I think the patches do work. I've been selling them. You inspired me with your hard fought, I would say victory, but you ultimately lost. But you standing up as one man with 16 patches against a epidemic inspired me to start selling them.
Them into following him, and he claims, "Oh, but I gave the money back." I don't believe that.
No, you guys can't vouch for me. Bert knows that we're all sadistic, satanic liars. The money wasn't donated to people in the community, and even the first 2 donations I did were people in my community. Then someone actually reached out to me from the Nick Swick channel, like a Q-tard, and they sent me a message, and I felt bad about like, I hope this is over soon. They couldn't afford their groceries. They were talking about how they didn't have anything to eat. Their power's going to get cut off. I felt bad for them too. So I sent them, I don't know, probably a couple $100. I don't know what the amount was. I didn't send anybody any large amounts. But I felt bad for them, and they weren't even part of my community. They were actually a Q-tard that were just reaching out to the Nick Swick channel saying, hey, they weren't asking for help. They were more saying like, I hope this ends soon. You don't know how hard this has been on me. My husband passed away. Something about his pension, and it was a really sad story. I felt bad. So I donated money to them as well, and said, I hope this helps, from the Nick Swick channel, and sent it to them as well.
But hey, let's go back to Will and see what else he does.
Some of it went to people in our community. The plan was just to go to people who were like hard up in our community. But I ended up people reaching out to me that needed help from actually Q-tards. Like we bought some lady's
Oh, I didn't know I said that.
Groceries for a month.
Now he's referring to someone who attacked me, I think, when he was referring to the lady with the groceries, who was supposed.
That's not true. This was way, way, way before we even talked about you. These were people that found the Nick Swick channel and didn't even know who the fuck you were, like most people in the world.
Supposedly a friend of mine for 2 years. And we chatted in text message all the time. She was somebody I thought that I could be myself around, that I could say or do whatever I wanted to say or do without having to.
This is just an excuse for him to talk about Marianne Mann.
Make sure, this is not something that I need some donations. This is the way he reads it. When I say, really, I need donations, and I don't know what I'm going to do. And it wasn't that I was begging her for them. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get back into my.
He was just out loud. He was only speaking to her, and he was just out loud begging other people while directing at her. So imagine you get a text message from somebody and they're like, times are really tough. And you're like, yeah, I know, I can't afford my groceries. And they're like, well, I got to get donations or, I'm going to be evicted and thrown out of my car and the power's going to get turned off and I don't know where I'm going to get money from. Are they directly asking you for donations? Maybe not. But what's being implied there? It's only you and them in this conversation. And then she would say something like, well, I would donate if I could. I don't have the money. I'll share your video or whatever. Are you sure? I mean, I could really just use like $10 or even $5 or even $3. He didn't lose the entire case. There's still some stuff that goes to trial, but she won on his defamation is gone. She won on assault and battery. Her claim against IIED is gone, but some of her claims still stand. Some of his is still going to go to court.
My house,
probably
at the same time that he's
for smaller issues
attacking me. Okay, and those people, those Patreon friends of his, were all about that too. And this was back when I was still on Facebook. I couldn't edit them out. They were all over the place. They were attacking the hell out of me. It was him. It was him.
This isn't true.
His people. Now there's an offshoot of his people now that have created a Facebook page, and
those are not my people. The Burt Cat Piss and Burt Lynch Truth are not, they existed before I even, well, it wasn't before I found Burt. The first time I covered Burt, and then I didn't think about him for a few years, and these pages existed. They contacted me separately from me. It had nothing to do with me, right? They're not my people. They contacted me and they're like, you really need to cover Bert again. There's like one lady that's donated like almost $100,000 to him. Like, you really need to cover Bert. And I was like, I'll check into it. But stuff was going on at the time, whatever. I didn't cover him for a long time. And these pages existed separately. They're not me. They're not my people. I don't know who created them.
They may or may not know because they're all a bunch of QAnons. And I'm telling you, that's a CIA operation, and it is a con job. It's not real. It's fake. It's designed to keep you from being really involved in your government and participating.
Is it kind of like Inception when you see me, inside of me, inside of me, inside of Bert?
Something that can actually advance our situation. That's what Q is. But he took advantage of that.
Yes. Years ago versus like a few months ago. I don't know. His timeline is very fucked.
He used those people. So these are the kind of people that follow him, and this is the kind of behavior that he does. And mocks me all the time, but this is the true colors. They're shining through, baby.
We paid some lady's light bill that got kicked off. I helped 2 or 3 people in my community, like a couple $100 here, $100 there from the donations. And that went on, I don't know, that went on for a couple months, I guess.
And you didn't take advantage of the fact that you got about 5 million views, and the popularity that you got from that counts too.
So he's still confusing multiple things, okay? The video that got 5 million views was a video on my main channel, Cold Beer Confessional. The other videos got a lot of views. I wouldn't say nowhere near 5 million, but he's going to keep bringing that up. Like, how much money did you make on 5 million views? How much money did you make on 5 million views? How much money did you make on 5 million views?
You conned half of the country into following you.
Half the country? Half the country, Bert?
With a BS site and a bunch of your followers. Like, I mean, this cat is on the verge of being a cult leader.
So good. Chat. What do we call ourselves? We're the good cults. The cult with a K.
That I could pre-record the Nick Swick video with a pre-recorded
He's bragging
chat.
about this stuff.
Then I could live stream it and
yes, I'm bragging.
Combine that with a live chat while I was live streaming. So it looked like both of them were live at the same time because some people said, this sounds just like Will Burt. Even though I had a voice changer, some people called it out pretty quick and I was just banning those people like crazy. So
I do
I did that for, I don't know, a month or two. It made probably a few $100s. I donated all the money.
Sure you did.
It was becoming just too much to keep up with, and some people were getting kind of close.
We're figuring it out.
Plus, we had a group of people break away at the time that used to like me, but now they don't like me or whatever. And I knew they were going to fucking snitch it out. So
that's your entire audience. That's your entire following. Were people that used to like you and fucking hate you now.
what I did was I closed down the old donation link and I linked it back to my new donation link. So the first person that donated after I switched the donation link, it sent them a receipt that said, thank you for donating, blah, blah, blah. And it said Will Bird down at the bottom. And they thought they had me. But what they didn't know is I had already announced it. Before all this happened, I had already announced I am Nick Swick to everybody.
So
they ran to Phil and they're like, Phil, you're not going to believe this. The guy calls you out all the time as a grifter. And they ran to all these other people and started freaking out. It was a fun experiment, dude. The videos would get like 20, 30,000 views. I would have hundreds of live viewers when it was live. Like, it's so easy. It's so easy to be a right-wing grifter. It's just because they don't question fucking anything, dude.
Now, I'm going to agree with him a little bit on that because when I was involved in the Q thing, when I had not called it out yet, when I was appearing on Penny's show and those other guys, yes, the donations came. And I mean, it was great for a year, until I decided I couldn't do it anymore. And it wasn't because I knew I was conning people. I just figured out it was con. And I said, I have figured out this, and I'm not going to.
So he wasn't intentionally conning people. He just figured it out later that he was conning people.
Do it. And I called out Penny.
My accent's too thick. That's true. My accent's too thick. Even with the voice changer, wasn't great.
I mean, several of them. I'm trying to think. Brad, I kind of called out Phil Godleski, even though I hadn't picked a fight with Phil Godleski, but I said, I still watch his show for the Flat Earth stuff because I find that topic very...
I ain't got no legs. That's what he keeps telling people, that I got donations telling people that I didn't have any legs. He's only heard... Like, he hears these little bit of sarcastic stories, and he just runs with it.
Interesting. But
he doesn't understand what sarcasm is.
I don't, and I couldn't figure out how he was so popular. Follow him to attack me. This piece of shit got me kicked out of 3 hotel rooms.
What?
Will Bird started all this stuff. He got his people that follow him to attack me. This piece of shit got me kicked out of 3 hotel rooms.
Now listen. If no animals are allowed in a hotel room and you sneak your cats into a hotel room and the hotel tells you and your cat to leave for violating their rules, who got you kicked out of a hotel room? Here's a hint. It wasn't me and it wasn't the cats. Who got you kicked out of the hotel room?
Okay. I got kicked out of 3 hotel rooms because of the antics of those people. They don't realize, or they do realize they're affecting the lives and livelihoods of people, and they don't care. They sit there and laugh from and their mama's bed.
They don't care.
How funny it is that they just fucked up somebody's world.
Oh.
They sent people out to figure out what hotels I was in based on what they could see out the window or whatever. And
before, now listen, this is how he watches the show. Before, he used to say that if you could take a picture of his background in his hotel and plug it into AI, and within a couple seconds, it would tell you any hotel room in the world, and they would call the hotel room. Now it's, we sent people out to investigate what hotel he was in. And that's not true.
Or maybe
I've been asked to leave a hotel room.
They go back and listen to a show because I didn't realize I was supposed to be hiding. So I may have mentioned I'm at this one or I'm at that one. But what he did was he had people go and call the front desk and say,
did I ask anybody to call the front desk of a hotel?
Hey, there's a guy in your hotel and here's his name and we think he's on this floor. And I've got video of Will admitting to that too.
Uh-oh.
And then the next day or that night, they would knock on my door. You have an animal in this room. Is it a certified?
He's got video of me saying how funny it was that there was like a month of people playing Where's Bert?
Sorry, there's a big bunch of cars going by out there, noise. Is this a certified pet for service animal? And he wasn't at the time. And so they would throw me out. Now, I had lost my home. Everything I owned was in storage. The income I had was my show. At that time, a year ago, my arm was still so weak, or a year and a half ago now, my arm was still so weak I couldn't get a labor job.
Oh, good Lord.
Because of the damaged nerves. And I'm just trying to make a living, and I'm calling out the QAnon people too. And they're attacking me.
Yeah.
And they laugh at it. They enjoy it. They think it's funny. And all of you people over on that other Facebook page, did you know this about
I'm Grand Tifa. That's right.
And if you did, you laugh at it. They enjoy it. They think it's funny. And all of you people over on that other Facebook page, did you know this about your freaking hero?
Did you guys know this? Hey, Burt Lynch Truth page. Burt Cat Piss. Did you know that I'm a hilarious motherfucker? Did you know that about me?
And if you did, you criticize me. You go out and tell everybody, oh, go look, somebody accused Burt of taking advantage of them. First of all, I didn't take advantage of anybody. Everybody who invested money in my show knew exactly what they were going to get, what they were called in.
Sure.
The contract I signed with another company never happened because I never, ever lived up to my end of the bargain because I ran out of money. And I couldn't create the studio and the product that I was asked to create. That my people insisted. Karen Kelly Roark lives to watch this guy's show. She's the one that was funding the project.
I don't even think she's here tonight, but thank you.
She hit on me. I turned her down. She goes, oh, I was only kidding. No, you hit on me.
That's the one that invested over $80,000 with him. And then finally, after not seeing returns, an excuse, and thinking that the new network he was going to. So basically, they were trying to reinvent YouTube with one guy who broadcasts for church radio and Burt. And they were claiming that the ad reads on Burt's show with basically no viewers were going to be $20,000 to $30,000 per read. And that's how they're going to pay back all these investors. You're not getting paid back. Sorry.
I don't date married women, and I don't date women that outweigh me. And I told her no. And I also said, no sex until I'm married, period.
Why would you immediately refuse her advances and then also clarify that, I can't have sex till I'm married also?
Part of my promise to God.
He is the snowflake.
That's next door to mine. So
the boomer snowflake.
Be with me all the time. And she's going to move her precious paraplegic daughter into that house. And that way her husband would think that she's out here to go to college. And I'm just going to be with her out there. He doesn't have to know I'm living next door to you. This is what she told me. I've got this in a text.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Burt Catpiss. I knew it. I didn't know if you guys knew.
I told her no.
Burt Catpiss said they knew I was fucking hilarious, Burt.
All of those things. And then when I told Kelly Pervin that I wasn't going to do QAnon anymore, she gets together with Kelly. So it's Kelly, Karen Roark, and Kelly Pervin get together, a couple of hens. Yip. Let's just take him out. I don't want to do it. He won't do Q. I don't want to do it either. He don't want to do me. So I've given him a lot of money. He ought to be more. Listen, I didn't let you invest your money so I could get laid. I was a rock and roll star, lady.
Everybody's heard of Burt Epstein Island Lynch, right? He was a rock and roll star, lady. You think he wants your mean vagine? He was a rock and roll star.
To do me. So I've given him a lot of money. He ought to be more. Listen, I didn't let you invest your money so I could get laid. I was a rock and roll star, lady.
A rock and roll star.
I got no problem meeting women. I didn't need that from you. You invested in a project that you bailed on and then accused me of never producing the show. We ran out of money. It's expensive to build.
I think I have the contracts. Whereas the business, a startup company engaged in online political podcast, desires that the investor place a specific amount of capital investment for the purpose of improving the business online political podcast set and daily production, scheduled to be determined. Whereas the investor recognizes the intentions of the business and agrees to invest a capital investment, provided that the investor shall be afforded with 5% of advertising sales produced by the show and allocated to Burt Lynch Entertainment. This includes all advertising monies received once the show is launched on SNTV. Monies and statements will be distributed every 10th of the month once the show is live and on the air. The tentative date is May of 2023. The show is supposed to launch in May of 2023. Whereas the business agrees to award and to transfer monthly proceeds to the investor according to the terms and conditions stated in this contract, in consideration of and a condition of the parties entering into this contract and other valuable consideration, the receipt and sufficiency of which considerations are hereby acknowledged by parties agree to bind themselves to the following provisions. 1. The investor shall provide a minimum of $25,000 as capital investment to the business. The capital investment can be sent via electronic transfer, $10,000 being sent by March 28th, 2023, and the balance of $15,000 within 30 days. The investor shall be entitled to 10%, then in parentheses, 5%. Literally, this contract says the investor shall be entitled, and then it's topped out, TEN percents. Then in parentheses, it says 5% of the business of all ad revenue as part of the investment agreement. The contract shall be valid for two, starting the day. The contract shall be valid for two, parentheses, starting the day the show starts receiving ad income and terminating 2 years to the date after the initial startup date, to be determined. Investor understands and acknowledges that the company has a limited financial and operating history and that an investment in this company is a highly speculative and involves substantial risk. The entire amount of investor's investment may be lost. Investor is in a financial condition to bear the loss of investor's investment. There are restrictions on investors' ability to cancel investor subscription hereunder and obtain a return of investor's investment. It may be difficult for investor to resell the shares and conversion shares, and investing in the shares involves risk, and the investor should not levy any funds in the offering unless investor can afford to lose the entire amount of the investor's investment. You can tell somebody what's her name, Dana or whatever works with him, top this up. Confidentiality. The parties shall maintain the confidentiality of all vital information accessed and shared during the course of this contract. The respective parties shall refrain from sharing information with outsiders and third parties. The contract shall not be assigned, transferred, or awarded to other individuals or third parties outside the business agreement. I had a better version of this, but I don't know if I still have it. Hold on. Sorry, I'm looking up something. Dana, that's the person, right, that did the thing? That's like his right hand or whatever. She has an interesting background as well, in case you're wondering. I got a stock offer from SNTV. Dana sent it for Bert. That was sent to me after I turned down the $25,000 investment opportunity from Bert. Hold on. Here is the stock option. The contract shall be valid for 2 years. Investment may be lost. Agreement. Oh, wait, this might be the bottom of the contract. Amendments, any and all revisions, additions, changes to this contract shall require the consent of all parties. The contract shall be governed by and construed in the applicable laws known in the state of Nevada where the undersigned business is. The business and investor declare they have read and reviewed the entire contract. Albert Lynch Jr. Wild, dude. Wild that a no-name show on a network that doesn't exist yet and making people verbal promises about gigantic sums of money. Huge sums of money. Send a message on Messenger and tells them that Dana will be sending the contract, stocked option from his email address. Crazy. All right, back to it.
I was building, and I had not even hired a crew yet. But this guy takes text messages from Will Bird, takes text messages from Marianne Mann, who, now listen to this. Marianne Mann was supposedly a good confidant of mine. Until one night I had a few beers and I saw a cat video, and the cat video had the F word in it a couple times.
Uh-oh.
And I thought it was funny and I shared it. And then she made a comment in public on Facebook, "I'm ashamed of you for playing that video. I can't believe that you would play something with such filth in it." And I said, relax, it's just a joke. And that's when I came on the next day and said, okay, all you church ladies, if you don't want to watch me, don't watch me. I've been watching my tongue.
Don't watch me, church ladies.
With SNTV was, it's a Christian network. We don't allow any swearing on our network. I got no problem with that. I was a professional broadcaster in radio before podcasting was ever even a smile on anybody's face. Back in the 70s, I was in radio. I know the words you can't say.
I don't know if you guys know this, but he was a rock star.
So I had no problem signing a contract that said there'll be no swearing and there'll be no filthy content. But I don't have that contract with SNT anymore because I couldn't live up to my obligation in the contract I signed with them because my funding fell out by a woman, by these two. Kelly Purvis never invested any money in my place. She sent equipment.
Never.
And I've got that in writing too. It was all donated. It was all donations. We wanted to be a part of SNTV. And so we donated that to you to make you successful so that we could represent SNTV. That was our deal. And she goes, I'll be your IT person. I'll be your moderator. And that's how we're going to do it. Well, she died hating my guts. Mostly because her husband was pissed off when I broke a tooth.
Listen to this story. So he claims that the husband was mad because Bert was getting all these donations. And I guess one day Bert broke up and had a broken tooth and didn't tell anybody how it happened. Just tooth broke. So he took the donation money that he was supposed to be using to run his business and went to the emergency dentist that day and got his tooth repaired. And when people found out about it, they're like, what? Why? And he's like, because I'm the host. I have to have all my teeth.
Right there. And I
Bert Lynch.
To get the tooth.
Lynch.
He's using donated money and the company's money to fix his damn teeth. Yeah, because I'm the host on the show.
Okay.
And I need my smile to be decent. But he lost his freaking mind over it. And then he starts hollering, we're paying his rent. You're not paying my rent. Kelly Roark was paying my rent.
Did you hear that? Make no mistake. Make no mistake. Kelly Roark was paying his rents. Full grown ass man. Broke. Completely broke. in this gigantic house in Las Vegas where he has to put his studio in, and some lady he met on the internet is paying his rent.
He lost his freaking mind over it. And then he starts hollering, we're paying his rent. You're not paying my rent. Kelly Roark was paying my rent because that was our deal. The studio, the house was the studio.
No, the studio was in the house. The whole house wasn't a studio. Not happening.
3 out of the 4 bedrooms in that house were part of the studio, plus the living room and the dining room. The den was the green room. The only part of the house that I used outside of the studio was the bedroom and the kitchen.
So there you go. The rest of it was all studio.
The rest of the house was being used as a studio. And her investment in the company was to pay for it and get a percentage when we start making money. That's my deal. Will Bird thinks I'm a grifter because of that. Will Bird just needs someone to hate. He doesn't know how to...
Someone to love.
Appreciate anything that isn't filth. So...
Bert spent $25,000 on veneers. He wasn't fixing one tooth. Thank you for clearing that up. I appreciate that. I did not know that story until Bert mentioned it. I'm sure I would have heard about it eventually, though. Thank you for pointing that out. He spent $25,000 on veneers. He wasn't just fixing one tooth. Thank you.
Jan Witch says, I could never watch his show because I know his nasal tone like that. I know, that's what he talks about. It's probably from doing years and years of cocaine.
How do you know my medical history, sir? Huh? Who told you I've been abusing cocaine for years?
Like an idiot. I tried to watch Phil once.
Yes, it's wild. Like all these people, especially like Bert's age, talk about young kids and how they're so entitled. Like somebody should help them. Somebody should get them a good job. Somebody, school shouldn't be so expensive. And I've never seen anybody entitled like Bert. Fuck the young kids. Bert is so fucking entitled, dude. She was paying my rent. That was her deal. Well, I spent 2 years trying to figure out how the internet works. What?
Couldn't stand it after 2 minutes.
And then they did. So after that investor pulled out, Bert was freaking out, saying he didn't have an investor. Investor pulled out, bad mouthing them, talking shit about them. So another anonymous investor comes by and basically told Bert, the check's in the mail, just wait. Oh, and Bert did. He's used to getting those handouts over and over and over again. So Bert did nothing. He just waited and waited and waited and waited. And checks in the mail. Checks in the mail. Oh, sorry, I'm in Europe. I can't send it to right now. Checks in the mail. Checks in the mail. Checks in the mail. And he waited and waited. And he still to this day thinks that was a real investor. A real investor that just kept telling him checks in the mail. To this day, he thinks it was a real investor. It was not, obviously. It was somebody fucking with him. Anybody that says checks in the mail, move on. There's no check. It's not coming in the mail.
Damn witch. Linus says, how could these conservative women listen to this guy like this? Exactly. Answers.
Exactly. How do you conservative women listen to me like this? Don't your panties get twisted or something?
What a weasel of a man and his nasal voice. Everybody hates his voice. He's got the perfect voice for not being in radio.
Right. That's why I'm not in radio. I'm fucking hilarious. Okay? As long as we're just lying about ourselves, I'm a professional comedian, baby.
But no, it's true. And this is my point, Linus, so thank you for that. Because many of you out there that are watching my show now that are Facebook friends of mine know that you've been contacted by Karen Roark or somebody that's working with her and said, go look at this page, go look at this site. And then there's all these accusations that are not true. They take a little bit of truth and make a big lie out of it. Like when Marianne Mann said, I can't believe you're going to do that. And I said, listen, church ladies, forget it. If you're waiting for me to be like a church show where I'm never going to swear, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm relaxing my own restrictions on myself because that contract didn't happen. And if I want to say shit piss or those other
shit piss,
words,
that's a strange one.
I'm not going to censor myself anymore.
In my dojo,
and if you don't like that,
we call you a trophy buck, Bert.
Well, it pissed her off to the point where she went running. Well, I'll tell you how it probably worked like this. Kelly Pervin and Karen Roark are out there.
I think Bert's mad because I have an audience. I have a show that pays the bills. I have a loyal following. I usually have a job. It's kind of fucked right now because of the hurricane. Kind of fucked my job in my home, but I usually have a job as well. Even when I don't need a job, when the show's doing better and I don't need a job, I still like to stay busy at a job. I'm a combat veteran, so my service actually did something besides singing in a choir. And I'm kind of fucked up from the time that I was in. So he's really upset that I get VA disability. He doesn't even qualify for Social Security.
They're watching everything's happening, and anytime anybody
He's,
a donation,
he said he's going to make some calls and tell them how mean I'm being on the internet, and seeing if they'll take away my veterans disability.
they would reach out to them. You're wasting your money giving money to him. Don't give him money. They would do that. I know, because the people called me and told me. I don't know what to do about this. I mean, it's ridiculous how obsessed people are with trying to destroy what I'm doing here when I'm sitting here honestly telling you guys what's happening in the news. And just like Will Bird's asking his audience to donate to him and buy, he's not even selling merch. He does sell merch. He never talks about it. But he sends people to his site. But the way he does it.
I don't sell merch. The merch shop's been closed for a while.
Go look. Look right there.
Okay.
In his chat.
Look right here. So he tries to pull up my chat and say, look right here. Look at all the places where it says, go to this website and donate. But he just happened. Bert has the worst luck ever. He just happened to pull up the chat when none of those links are in it. He just so happened to pull up the chat at a time where there are no links in the chat right now.
Right up here. And in the chat room, there's people that are telling folks to go and donate. Now, there's none of them are up at that moment because I've got it frozen.
Now, none of them are up at the moment. Go look at his chat. Anytime at his chat, it's just covered with go donate here, go donate here, go donate there. Look, right, I'll show you. Well, not right now, because I paused it right now. But this, D.R.J. Hannah.
But in just about every few minutes, they say, here's where you can go to donate to this, and here's his PayPal account. So he's got people in his chat room doing it. And he criticizes me for it. So Marianne Mann, who couldn't stand that I said fuck. I didn't even say it. The video said it.
By the way, this is not the way it went down. If you want to know what actually happened, the video was just on there, and it was a video about a cat. Anyways, and the guy's like, what the fuck is this? Ma, fuck, whatever. Bert still hasn't figured out who that is, and we're not telling him, chat, who did the video. Don't tell him. But Marianne Mann just mentioned like something about, oh, there's a lot of foul language. And Bert comes out of nowhere and is like, you can't tell me what I can say. This is my platform. This is what's wrong with Christians. Like attacks her for just saying there was foul language in the video, basically. She didn't say he couldn't do it. She didn't yell at him. She didn't tell him to stop. She didn't say you're a fake Christian. She's just like, yeah, the video had a lot of language in it. Foul language. And Bert attacked her like as if she was Big Brother trying to censor him.
It was said in the video by the cat guy. And the fact that I allowed that to go into my Facebook page, she then...
Bert doesn't know who the cat guy is.
And Kelly Purvis talked her into sending her entire 2 years worth of text messages with me to this son of a bitch, Will Bird. And then he said...
This son of a bitch.
On his show, using inflection that was not implied by me.
I used the wrong inflection of a text message. That's what made Bert look bad. When he was saying, oh, you only get $25 in food stamps? That must mean you're lying to me about how much you make. Beautiful. That's the inflection he meant. Oh, you only get $25 a month in food stamps? Well, then you're not being truthful about how much money you make, are we, lover? Are you sure? I understand you can't pay your phone bill, your light bill, or buy groceries this month. But are you sure you couldn't send me just $5? Beautiful. I know you said you couldn't send $5, but how about $3, angel? That's the inflection he really meant when he was begging for money. Harassing a lady for money. I assume for dramatic effect.
He would go, I need money now. That's not, how can you take that from me going, I need money now?
We said the same thing, you stupid fuck. Imagine talking to someone who is saying, I can't pay my bills and I don't know how I'm going to eat this month. And you respond with, yeah, I need money now. No matter the inflection. No matter the inflection. That's insane, dude. Insane. You're insane. Holy shit. Fucking lunatic. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. This guy's fucking wild, dude. To be hounding somebody in their private messages while they're clearly doing worse than you. Hold on just a second. And it's all because the inflection. It's all because the inflection I read it with. Had I not read it with an inflection, he would look like he would be completely innocent. That was my fault for the inflection. Dude, wild. I'm getting to it. Hold on. I understand you only get so much in food stamps, but that must mean you have a job. Otherwise, they would give you a lot more. I didn't know food stamps. I didn't know food stamps at all because I've had too many deposits from my supporters. That doesn't mean I have money in the bank. It just means they won't help me. Can you do anything at all? $60 or $80, whatever. I need help now. They respond, I'm not working. My back is broke in 2 places. I have less than $40 or $50 to last for 3 weeks. You're about to be blocked. Oh, thank you for the donation. That'll really piss Bird off. Thank you. So they say, I'm not working. That was from Jay Bird. Actually, I should have read it. I didn't read it. Hold on, I'll pull it up. They respond, I'm not working. My back is broke in 2 places. I have less than $40 to $50 to last for 3 weeks. You're about to be blocked. How does he respond? I'm just so desperate now. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm getting hit by fake accounts that are telling me that there's a money waiting when it's not really there. I'm sorry. She has to threaten to block him so he'll quit asking her for money. Is that me with my inflection making that weird? Or is that the fact that they're supposed to be friends and she has to threaten to block him? Jaybird bought 6 6-packs. Says, as always, I wish I could have more. Thank you very much for the donation. I appreciate the support. Is that me and my inflection? Is that me doing that? She says, I get that. I'm pretty desperate myself. Don't know what I'm going to eat until the 2nd Wednesday of next month. I get 1 check. He responds, God bless, I'm so sorry. I wish I had never gotten involved in this movement. This pity party he opens for himself, and she tries to support him because she thinks they're friends. Don't say that. I think you're doing a good job. But if you want to continue to keep your followers, you're going to have shows twice a week. Granted, right now is rough with people shopping, etc. But I would at least do 1 show this week, no later than 8 p.m. Keeping contact with your followers is the only way. Lose track of them and you won't have anything to come back to. A lot of people are there for you, even if they can't financially help right now. He responds, I can't do shows when I have lost all of my equipment. I don't have a way to research the topics. My connection with SNTV will never be profitable. That's the investment opportunity. He's saying will never be profitable. It's not about how many fans I have. It's about how good the show is. So she's like, just keep streaming. Like, people will come. Nope. She says, do it from your phone. Michelle Moore Winder does. He says, having people be my fans who can't afford to support the show doesn't help me keep the show. Look at this. By the way, this is a person that just said they couldn't afford to help him. He says, having people be my fans who can't afford to support the show doesn't help me keep the show alive. It costs me money to stay shows. I would be better off to be a Satanist. That would be thousands of people who would send me money, but I don't do that. People don't want to send money if they think they can get it for free. You tell me when my inflection makes him sound bad. She says, nobody will ever send money if you aren't keeping in touch with them. If you're not doing lives, they're not going to donate. Stop trying to say, do it from your damn phone. I'm trying to get a show on a network that requires professional protection. I don't want to be the next Brad Barton. I want to be the next Tucker Carlson. Is it my inflection yet, or? She says, small steps first. I've done small steps for the last year and a half. Brad Barton became a success because he had 25,000 people in his downline that he emailed and said, hey, watch my show. He was an instant success. I don't have that. I'm way smarter and a lot better informed than him. Sorry, but that's just the freaking truth. She says, all I can tell you is don't have some type of show and they won't be there, right? Build it and they will come. He goes back to, Marianne, I'm out of money. I can't pay for my fucking internet or my electricity or my rent. I need some serious help from everybody. Even $20 from 100 people would fix the problem. What in the hell is wrong with people? Can't you see that you must support the people you think are important? Jesus H. Christ. She says, there's nothing wrong with having desires for bigger and better, but the fans you do have will find something else to do if you turn you off. Good night. He says, I'm so sick of the entire market. Sleep well. She says, I don't like cussing, and I get that. You're stressed, but don't take it out on me. Cussing is a part of life. If it hurts your feelings, then you're a sissy. Get over it. Your mentality is why that Jen, like Jennifer, Z, is the way they are. They learned it from you. Grow the fuck up. Again, they're really good friends for 2 years. Really good friends. She says, no, I'm a Christian and don't want to hear it. I am grown and I don't have to put up with your cussing or constantly attacking me. Goodbye. See ya. Then he comes back, of course. Thanks for contributing in the chat room tonight. This dude is manipulative as you could be. She says, you're welcome. I'm just glad that your dad something, and I hope you get at least $250, $300 per show. He says, thanks, I read through it. It's very childish behavior by a bunch of very immature, no life having idiots that wouldn't know how to pursue a dream if it fell in their freaking laps. I guess this is when he's talking about my show or someone else's show or something talking about him. There's more. These are just the first ones I pulled up. Like, look at these. I understand you only get so much in food stamps, but that must mean you have a job. Otherwise, they would give you a lot more. That doesn't mean I have money in the bank. It just means they won't help me. Can you do anything at all? $60, $80, whatever. I need help now. The one before this, let's open this one. She says, I only get $20, $23 a month in food stamps. I never get to eat out, go shopping, or see my mom who is dying of cancer. I do call her every day and talk to her for 30 minutes. That's the way he's responding to. I understand you only get so much in food stamps. That's where the response come from. Is it my inflection making him look like a bad guy? Is it me doing it? Am I doing it? Or is it just that he's a piece of shit? Which one is it? I'm confused. He says, I'm in big trouble. I got an eviction notice today. I did manage to get my internet and cable back on thanks to my followers who sent me some more money on Sunday. I didn't post this, but today, when I left the house to try and go to the store, I ran out of gas. My car sat in a parking lot at Walmart all day until Nana, I think he means Dana, could come and take me to the gas station. I walked home. I haven't been this broke in 2 years. This is what he says right before he asks for money. She says, wish I could help. I'm trying to survive off less than $4 a day for food. I only get $23 a month for food stamps, but I'm glad to get that. Very aggravating to think of what the illegals get. She's trying every way in her world to be nice to this guy. It's just wild. God bless. I'm sorry I had to ask. I'm just waiting on funding, and people are really take their time doing what they say they're going to do. Have a great night. Oh, wait. This one's, there's got to be one before this. Hi there, on August 14th. Okay, here we go. Again, she's on a fixed income. She's broke. Like a lot of people were at the time. Still are. Hi there, on August 14th. On August 18th. Hope you enjoyed the last couple of shows. I still need some help. Is there anything you can do tonight, even a small amount? And that's when she starts explaining her financial situation. I can't even afford to buy fucking groceries for myself. Does that stop him? No. He's got to make the sale. He's got to push harder. He complains about how much the liberals make, but he doesn't because he's not a liberal. He should be a Satanist. Tomorrow, my water will be turned off at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then the cable is also due, and I haven't paid the rent this month, and I am hoping to just keep the water on for another day for more help. She says, I can appreciate that, but I'm still over 2 weeks till my next check and have less than $100. Then he goes into, that's why most entertainers are liberals. It's like he doesn't even see the words that she's typing at all. I reached out to you this morning because I'm in need of some help. Donations or a loan would be a quick fix. But if you have the money to invest, I would love to be able to make you a partner and get you a very strong return on your money. But right now, I'm in desperate need for any help. The dude is unhinged. Unhinged, dude. You'll never catch me in my followers' DMs saying, I can't afford this and that's getting cut off. Please just don't. I'll just go fucking sell something or get a job or something. Anything besides begging in your DMs. There was one where he flips out because he was giving her ideas to make money. And he's like, that's not what I need. I need donations. I think it might be this one. Someone messaged me about 30 minutes ago asking for details on investing. I gave them my number and asked them to call so I could explain. I haven't heard a whisper from them. She says, keep the faith. I know you got to be on the edge of your seat. So he says, no, she canceled and is out. When one door closes, another one opens. It's possible. Sorry you're going through all this. I'm here if you need to talk. He says, someone messaged me about 30 minutes. Oh, that's the one I just read. Someone messaged me about 30 minutes ago about investing. He says, time is running out. No one seems to understand that part. And she talks about when her husband died and all the stuff that she went through. And she says, keep praying. I'm not going to lie and say you'll get the money. But I just kept saying, God, do you really want me to lose my home? This is a struggle that she went through and how she dealt with it, right? Then she tells him all this. She says, I said, sir, maybe I can help you. He said, I sure hope so. I said, my name is, and you agreed to do my husband's funeral on my day so that I will pay. I just signed the paperwork on my house and I have a check for you. So she literally had to fucking sell her home to pay for this funeral. And it says on my day so. It was only $8,000, but he was so happy to pay for the funeral. He sends she tells him all about this struggle she went through when her husband died and losing the home and paying for, not being able to pay for the funeral. Tells him all this, okay? Now watch. How does he respond to all this stuff that she's went through? He sends a thumbs up and then says, I'm looking for $25,000. She suggests, use 10 people at $2,500. You make it easier. They can form an LLC. He says, no, too hard to pay out that many investors every month. And the check would not amount enough to return their investment, I guess. Not doable, but thanks. We have a CFO who's telling me what I need. I don't know. You can't tell him anything. He can't get a job. He can't work. He can't sing. He can't lounge. He can't do anything. He can't bust tables. He can't do nothing. He's got to be at home all day to listen to the news to do this show for you. And it's everybody else's fault.
Because he wants you to hate me.
There's even more. I didn't read them all in their entirety. There's a shit ton more. She sent me every message they had over a couple years.
Because this son of a bitch right here is the spawn of Satan, and he's going to laugh at that. He's going to love it. I said that about.
You know me so well. Twinning. This son of a bitch is a spawn of Satan.
I need money now. Because he wants you to hate me.
Okay, listen. Did Bert just go to her and say, hey, we're friends, and I just want to let you know the situation I'm in. I just need money right now. Or was he literally asking her for 25, for 60, for 80, do something? You're lying about your food stamps. You're lying about your work. There's got to be something you could give. You got to donate. Was he just telling her the situation that he was in, or was he asking her for money? Which one was it? Because to me, he's asking her repeatedly over and over again for money when she's telling him how bad off she is already. And he even tries to dispute how bad off she is by saying, well, if you only get that much food stamps, you must have some more income or something. I know, but I just need money right now. It needs to be fixed right now. I need this right now. Can you do anything? 60, 80. I hate to come to you, but I need 25. He sets it up as if he's just saying, I'm in a bad spot right now, so I'm down.
He would go, I need money now. That's not, how can you take that from me going, I need money now? Because he wants you to hate me. Because this son of a bitch right here is the spawn of Satan, and he's going to laugh at that. He's going to love it. I said that about.
I do love that.
I'm telling you right now, the offer still stands. Bring your ass out here to Vegas. I'm not 100% yet, but I don't need to be to whoop your ass. I wish I could get mine.
Whoop my ass. He don't need to be to whoop my ass. I'll tell you right now, I fight in a full body thong. Breakaway pants. Thong up over the shoulders. Banana hammock style.
I wish I could get 5 minutes alone in the room with you. What's the rest of this, you guys?
What would you do to me? Are we on a date? 5 minutes in heaven?
Anything. They just want to throw money at it. The only way that I could see doing the money thing was if I donated. I couldn't come to terms with taking people.
About a month of that, I was completely blind in my right eye, and he was helping from my phone.
Was money.
I don't believe you for a second.
A bunch of people charged me back donations when they found out that it was me. So they went to PayPal and charged
helping with his show
donations, and I just ended up having to pay it out of my own pocket. Right? It was only a few $100s. Most people charged it back. Some people are like, well, as long as you, when they would try to charge it back, I'd be like, I donated the money.
It was only a few $100 from millions and millions of views. You know.
Again, that's two different stories you're talking about. 5 million views on one video, a few $100 from a completely different channel. Thanks.
4 years ago. And I used that money and it said right there on there for living expenses and medical treatment. I had 2 years of physical therapy, and living expenses includes renting a house and paying for utilities because I couldn't work. My arm hung limp by my side for almost a year.
Limp Bert.
No, you can't afford it, hon. Oh, yes, I can. You don't have any idea. I've got a lot of money. My daddy left me a fortune. Money's no object.
Now he's talking about Kelly Rourke again.
I'll send you $15,000 right now. But she did.
Yeah, Bert's audio sucks.
But I'm the grifter. Let's keep going with this idiot.
And
won't give proof to all those people that he supposedly raised money for in that hurricane, where he said he bought some guy a pickup truck.
Some people seen the proof. I'm just not going to put other people's business that I donated to them. I'm not putting their business out there. I've donated to plenty of members of my community and would never, I'm not going to, what do you want, list them by name? I'm not doing it, dude. Everybody gets in bad spots. And if you use that to amplify yourself and say, I donated this much money to this person, not only does it make the person feel bad, it takes away from the donation because clearly you're doing it for a reason.
But they raised like $200,000 and everybody went, where else did you put it? He says, I'm not telling you.
As long as you donated, that's fine. I can't believe you got me. But it was really fun. We had
it was fun.
really
Ruining people's lives
for a couple months. We ran
ruining people's lives. I ruined people's lives by pretending to be Nick Swick.
We ran the YouTube channel. We monitored all the comments to make sure nobody was outing me if they figured it out. We ran a Telegram channel, all on separate accounts, and we were QAnon grifters. And honestly, if I'd started that from the beginning, I could probably be like in Phil's position right now. Not with underage girls or weird shit like that, but I guarantee I could have a shit ton of money right now.
And I've said the same thing about myself, haven't I, gang? If I'd stayed with the QAnon,
haven't I, gang?
Filthy rich right now. So there's certain things that me and this
somebody fire up the jukebox.
guy could agree on if he wasn't such a dick.
Nah.
My dumb ass took the high road. And
Yeah, right. You didn't take the high road. You wouldn't know the high road if it was running up your ass. All right. You're not taking any kind of high road, buddy.
He's very fixated on my genitalia and my ass and 5 minutes alone so he can finish me off or whatever that was.
You spend your days trying to figure out how to fuck with people.
Not people. Specific persons.
Destroyed by a hurricane. Not getting any views. So, now you're all caught up. Here we are. Thank you guys for joining us. I'm Will Bird. This is Cobra Confessional. That was a rundown of who was Nick Swick. And I guess also our Nasari Gasari video that went viral. Yeah, let's...
Now, if you thought that Bert just watched last night's video, you're wrong. He watches every video.
Talk about some things.
Watch.
Now he goes on to his other show. Now, let's just do this. Since he brought it up,
okay,
let's slide over to the show the night before. And this is, we're only going to be another minute on.
Oh, you knew about the outro. Like, this wasn't even part of the show. This was like right before I turned the show off. He watches every last minute of the show.
I'm just going to play the ending of the show right here. And let's go ahead and... The last time I tried to do this and out him, my system went haywire and I lost all the footage. But this time I'm a little bit more experienced and I've got to figure out what's this.
He's got to be watching every minute of the show.
Now what he does, this is a live video right here. He's got a filter on his shot, so it's his computer.
It's amazing. That's an amazing shot. To have that set up and have that going and have that interaction, that's a good shot. That's a high quality shot for a streamer. Plus multiple camera angles make it seem like a higher production.
Is purple, but he's sitting right here and he's smoking his vape and he's answering people in the chat room. Okay, see like down here, folks. See where it says this is Donna J. Banna. I think that must be
Donna J. Banna. Donna J. Banna, where are you? Stand up.
He's answering people in the chat room. Okay. See, like right down here, folks, see where it says this is Donna J. Banna. I think that must be a family member or a friend. Check out Will's donation animations. The donation animations, when you do them.
Okay. He's going to really struggle with what donation animations are, what it says, reading it in general. Donna J. Banna, we're just not doing it.
He gets paid, and he created one with me without a shirt on. That every time somebody clicks on it.
The power of Christ compels you to give little Bert
that was good
a little
timing.
kiss.
Whoever did that one, that was good timing.
So he's been grifting off of me for a year and a half.
Okay.
You sure about that?
Oh, shit.
You sure about that?
That's an alert you set off.
Sure about that?
I'm sure about it. Thank you very much for the bits. I appreciate it.
You sure about that?
Now
that was who, K-Sonic or whatever last night?
You sure about that thing? I think it's probably something that just made him some money as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, so somebody just made him money.
Somebody just made him money. No, I'm working on an award for his for the magnitude of the level of fan that Bert is. As much as he mentions my ass and stuff, I'm thinking about presenting him with a used condom. I don't know if he'll preserve it or drink from it. I don't know.
Sorry about the language, folks, but you got to hear this. See there? Here's this whole thing. Check out Will's donation animations. STFU. Figure out what that means. It's 3.
Can't figure out what that means. STFU. Have no idea what that means. What does STFU mean, chat?
This. See there? Here's this whole thing. Check out Will's donation animations. STFU. Figure out what that means. It's 333. I'm not 100% exactly what all of this means. 600 is the drunken boat. 700 is sheriff. Okay, so he's got a bunch of different ways over there that people are helping him make money.
So he's got a bunch of ways he doesn't realize that every time he talks about me, then someone sends me the video and I'm like, yeah, he's still retarded. I guess I'll play it tonight. That I just make more money, dude. I get more donations and more fucking viewers and more subscriptions. As soon as you start mentioning me, this is what people love. Burp, burp.
And I'm not going to say that I have it all figured out, because I don't.
Obviously. Boomer Burt entered the chat. Straight through for you. You got it.
This is just a classy show. Let it play.
I should have kept supporting Trump and kept my audience. We were making decent money then. I didn't have to fucking bring it up 3 times a show for donation and shit. If I could have just bit the bullet and been a grifter.
Now, obviously, this is a joke. This is a bit, right? Like, I should have done that. Then I wouldn't even have to bring up my links. We'd be like Phil. He doesn't understand sarcasm at all.
I could have been one of the best.
Because he's a Democrat now, he's not a grifter. I could have been one of the best if I'd have just supported Trump, but I gave up on Trump. And he says, and I got to ask 3 times a show for donations. And when I do that, he criticizes me. I'm telling you what, buddy, you lost all your stuff in a storm because that's called the law of reciprocity. I lost all my...
Reciprocity hits you with Helene. That's why you got hit by a natural disaster, you piece of shit. And everybody around you that got fucked over too was because you have a show on the internet.
Okay, so maybe I got some as well. But I'm going to build back. I'm going to build back strong. And I'm going to be big enough, man, not to rub it in your face.
Okay, when he builds back strong and he's the next Tucker Carlson, he's not going to rub it in my face. He will let me rub it in his face because he's jonesing for it, but
like you do.
Tell him I'm a secret agent working for Trump. I'm at Mar-a-Lago. I could come up with all kinds of shit.
Open his closet, I found some of his meat rockets. I strapped it to my shoes and then I flew to the roof. I found myself in orbit strapped to an F-16.
Pesky morals get in the way of everything.
His pesky morals get in the way of everything.
You guys understand sarcasm, right? Like I could say, oh, well, we could just go rob a bank, but my morals are getting in the way. His pesky morals get in the way of everything. See what he's saying? He's a spawn of Satan.
Put on a light coat of baby oil and saluted the troops. He tapped me on the shoulder and said, "This is gonna be it." Wait, stop. What? Get my files. Wait, what are you doing? Stop. Fucking stop. Dude, come on, seriously. Just turn it on and off. Oh, give me a... Oh my God. Damn it.
Ann Gallagher says, is that rap crap?
We already did that. And I donated all the money. Fucking retard.
Oh, so now it was like a retard. You didn't donate that money, you lying bastard.
That's a joke.
You guys don't remember Nick Swick? Were you around when we did Nick Swick?
You lying bastard.
Whole separate persona that we did, and we started a new YouTube channel just with my Patreon members. And I'll have to tell the story next time I'm live. Remind me about Nick Swick. Like Nothing Can Stop What Is Coming, NCS, WIC. That was Nick Swick was the name I come.
Being scrutinized, and you don't want anybody to come after you because you hid that money. So
$200 I donated all to people in need because I felt bad. But
you know what you do when you want to avoid being scrutinized and you don't want anybody to come after you because you hid that money? You just say it was a few hundred. Just
a few hundred. So I hid it all. I hid my millions that I made.
We made a few $100. We not that much. We only got 5 million views, but we only made a few $100. Lying bastard.
That's just because I'm dumb.
You are that.
He doesn't even understand the 5 million views thing. I said my video got a little over 1 million views. Other people stole it and uploaded it, and it got a total of 5 million views of the people that I know that stole it. Do you think I get paid for 5 million views of people that stole my video and re-uploaded it? Is that what you think?
Yeah.
Even Phil mentioned me. Yeah, no one knew.
Even Phil mentioned him. Phil was stupid enough. Okay, I'm going to break away. Phil was stupid enough.
Break away.
A multi-hour interview with this guy. And he thought that he was smart enough to go on this guy's show and pitch himself and get out of the things he'd been accused of. He wasn't. I watched it. He's sitting in his garage in Arizona, up Lake Havasu, with his new grift, 100%. That's why I didn't do it. I didn't want to be a grifter. But yet I'm still being accused of being a grifter because I support Trump.
I got to finish this.
And answered all his questions. And just like the con man that he is, Will Bird sat there and said, "Oh, okay, that's fine. Thank you. I accept that." And he did that to him and kept him on there for hours. And then he turned around and destroyed everything he said, ripped him apart, said, "I just needed the information." So
showed the truth. Yes. I let him answer everything without being confrontational because that's what he runs from. Anytime he's challenged, he runs. Let him go through all of his answers and then show the truth.
I could do this. This guy.
How would you investigate it, bro?
It takes pleasure in.
You mad because Phil didn't do your show?
Causing pain and suffering for others. He takes pleasure. He's even admitted because of his PTSD that he's fucked in the head and he can't stop himself. You know what I mean? I should get even more money from the military.
That's exactly what I said.
I made a little call about him myself to find out, is there anything we can do? Can I show you the evidence that this guy is trying to grift the United States military into taking care of him?
Oh, okay. He made a little call himself and said, hey, this crazy guy on the internet's trying to convince you all that he's crazy. And I don't think so.
What he's doing is what I'm being asked by Ann. Well, you know, it's immoral. There's a thing called freedom of speech. But it's certainly immoral to attack people and try to destroy them. The freedom of speech allows you to pretty much say anything that you want to do. But when he's attacking someone like myself, the courts will probably rule that I...
Then Ann says, IRS expects proof of donations. Why people let him off with a lie he donated the money. If you think I claimed a couple $100 in donating to random people on the internet that were hard up at the time on my taxes, I don't know what to tell you. I paid taxes on it too. I didn't try to write them off.
I'm a public figure, even though I'm not nearly as famous as somebody like Trump. See, Trump can't sue anybody for defamation of character because as a public figure, you open yourself up to scrutiny, apparently.
Okay.
I don't know. I haven't tried to. I've spoken to a lawyer about the situation with Pervin and the situation with Roark, and they've really, I'm just going to tell you, they just said, pray that they sue you.
By the way, he claimed at one time he spoke to a lawyer about me, and the lawyer said they're coming after him. Here it comes, and get ready. They're going to take it. But now he forgot that he made that lie.
You'll own everything they have.
Everything.
Take me to court. You'll own it all.
Everything.
This lady says she's got
any lawyer that's telling you that is a fucking liar, right? Because anything can happen in court. They can tell you like, hey, we'll probably win this. I think you're safe. And if we do go this, we'll have them pay your legal fees, you know. But to say like, every dime they got, the money that she gets from her dad that passed away, she'll be signing every check straight over to you. You're either lying or they're scamming you. One of the two.
Unbelievable funds that come in every month from her her father who died. She'll be signing them checks over to you. So because they're accusing you of stuff that you've got proof you didn't do, and that's all you.
All right.
But I go on here all the time and defend myself against these people because for whatever reason, sometimes I just can't resist telling them to go kiss my ass. Let's get to the end of this.
I will see you guys. I can't tell the story tonight. It's too late.
You have no self-control, bro.
Have a good night.
Who the fuck is in my window with this?
Now,
I swear I think he thinks about me. Like all night, all day, he just sets in molds over me. He's felted. When I shut this computer off, I'm going to forget that you existed, Bert, until someone mentions one sock. And then I'll be like, oh, yeah, wasn't there a guy?
You guys complain about having to listen to Follow Me in My Loop. How would you like to listen to that in the loop all night long?
That's a pretty good song. That was written specifically for me.
This cold beer fund. He's got people in there asking for money for him. And these people are just loving it. Going, that's so funny. Great. That was I'm going to try this again. We may wake up to great news tomorrow. This is the type of.
I don't think he understands that was a Trump assassination joke.
People, there's stream elements and cold beer confessional all asking for donations.
That just says legend. Hope so.
So there you go. There it is. Now, why did I take all that time? Because it needs to be said. And
the one sock bandit.
I do go over and I watch all of. So there you go. This is the type of people. So funny. Great. That was I'm going to try this again. We may wake up to great news tomorrow. This is the type of people. There's stream elements and cold beer confessional all asking for donations.
I don't think he knows what a bot is. So he's missed the point.
There it is. Now, why did I take all that time? Because it needs to be said. And I do go over and I watch all of the people that are in this movement.
Every show.
Brad's show. I watch Phil's show, although he hasn't done one in a while. I watch Will's shows. I do.
All of them.
Everyone says Bert's a drunk and a gambler, degenerate gambler. How can I be sitting here at night watching all y'all's podcasts so I can talk about what you're saying?
While you're hitting the max bet button?
I don't even have any beer in the refrigerator tonight. I sure as hell wish I did. I mean it. I wish I did. But I don't, because his show is all about buying him beer. There's a thing in this, it's called Cold Beer Confessional, buy me a beer. And have people send him money. I'll buy you a 6-pack, I'll buy you a 12-pack. It's listed, apparently, I haven't been over there, this is what I've been told, that, you know, you click on the button that pays for a 12-pack, and he's got that figured out, it's $15, whatever. And he's getting paid for hurting.
I haven't drank in years, Bert. You're about to get it. You're about there.
For diminishing, for attacking honest people. I have an honest show here.
Honest people. I'm getting paid to sucker punch honest guys.
An honest show where I'm trying to spread the word, tell you what happened in the news today so you don't have to spend 5 hours or 6 hours.
Take that, beer man.
And entertain you with something funny. And when my studio was up and running, I could sing for you, which is that's what I do best. I'm a singer.
Okay.
And my show was supposed to be about me singing a couple.
If that's what you do best, maybe find a new best.
Songs every show and talking about current affairs and also interviewing local celebrities, which I didn't ever get around to doing because we never finished that part of the studio. I didn't have the studio set up enough to be.
We didn't have the local celebrity section of the studio.
Promote. There was so much work going on in the studio every day that I could barely get a show off of just me in it. Every once in a while, I had a friend who came over and would get interviewed just because I needed to test out the system to see if it was working. But to invite somebody over into your studio, set up the green room, the den, for them to sit and relax for an hour while the show's getting ready to go on, to sit down with them. Go over.
He has not. I can vouch for that. He has not talked to his son lately.
You have to have a facility for that. You have to be able to offer them some refreshments. You have to be able to offer them, when you're doing this big time, there's a crafts table. Well, I don't have craft services, so I got to make a crafts table of my own and put some snacks out. And a vegetable plate. And
Bert, you're lying. Okay, nobody starts a podcast with a goddamn green room and snack food buffet. You're trying to start like you're fucking Joe Rogan. You could have started with all that money people were sending you. You could have just paid your fucking rent and started like a normal goddamn human. I've probably got tens of thousands of dollars invested in my setup. We started with a shitty webcam, and I've just made money and upgraded shit. You tried to start out on top. How fucking dumb, dude. When there are people getting millions of views on TikTok right now, live viewers, from their cell phone. If I'm going to interview these big guys, I have to have a crafts table. I have to make out some snacks and some cheeses. I make a mean cheese ball with Ritz crackers. What the fuck?
And make it nice so that when they come, they want to come back. Hey, yeah, great time.
It's the weave.
And afterwards, you served me a cocktail outside while we looked at the sunset. It was a very nice experience. I can't wait to come back to your show again. That's what you have to do.
You served me a cocktail outside while we watched the sunset. So that means I'm going to come back to your show again. He's not a real person, dude. He's making up lies so he can get more money. You don't need that. Even Joe Rogan just started with a bunch of guys in the corner of a fucking building with shitty webcams. The fuck out of here.
When you're going to actually ask celebrities to come and be on your show. It's different than Zoom calling some guy in from his den.
Celebrities aren't going to be on your show when you've got 6 people in the chat, bro. You're making up problems that don't exist.
And the other guy in his living room. And those are interesting subjects. Those are interesting interviews too. But what we were building was a destination studio for people to come and not only do my podcast, but hire the studio to record their demo tape or to make their commercial or to let them do their podcast in one in the afternoon. The plan was for me to have a crew that worked there full time. They showed up at work at 9 in the morning and left at 8 o'clock at night and had a lunch break. And if we had the studio scheduled to be used from 11 o'clock till 3 o'clock, when we do that, we change the set around. We put another set in the other room. We move the music equipment out.
Dude, he had a 2 years worth of rent donated to him. And he blew it all thinking that he was going to have fucking, I don't know. Who the fuck? David Hasselhoff? Who was coming? Who the fuck was coming, dude? No one knows you exist. Who the fuck was coming?
We put in some tables and chairs. Then we put the music equipment back in. We plug it all back in.
Eugene? He does look like Eugene. That is actually really good. He looks like season 1 Eugene.
We never got to that point. That was the plan. We never got there.
Good call, Enrico.
Karen Roark destroyed the damn project. And by the time I found someone else to invest in it.
Destroyed the project because she hadn't been getting returns on her investment and said, look, I'm not going to keep sending you money and nothing's happening.
So underwater that I couldn't get the money fast enough to save the house.
Oh.
Once I lost the house, I've done nothing but just try to stay alive. And that's why I'm constantly asking you folks to help. And there's only about 4 or 5 people that are watching the show right now.
That's pretty good considering there's only 6 people watching.
That regularly send $10, $50.
5 out of 6, pretty good.
$20, whatever they do. I got one person that sent me $200 not too long ago, and it saved me for the week.
And Gallagher pays his bills.
So I can pay the rent.
That's what he's saying.
And that's what it's come to. Because of the hateful behavior of that jackass and the people that follow him. It's not like they put me in this situation. But if you're in the water and you're...
It's always someone else's fault. They didn't put me in this situation, but they're holding me underwater. Bro, what do you think the crossover between my audience and your audience is, you fucking retard? You just can't build an audience, dude. Nobody comes here and thinks, oh, Will's on tonight. Well, I was going to give this Burt guy a chance, but I don't think I will now.
Swimming for your life, and there's people in a boat, and instead of them trying to help you out of the water, they're putting their foot down on you, trying to push you underwater. He's the foot guy. I'm the foot guy. Followers, they're the foot guy. We're the foot guys. They're not people. The foot from Ninja Turtles. You know, that's a bird. We're basically ninjas. We're gonna. You don't like QAnon. I don't like QAnon. Why don't we work together and make do interviews with each other? Did he do that? No, of course he didn't do that. Now, Mike Penny did that, and then he stole half the money that was raised on my behalf. They played my song, and he said, "Here's Bert's song. If you want to donate to his project, here's how you do it." They made over $6,000 in donation. I saw less than 3,000 of it. I don't know how true this is or what he's got claims. I know he had an ex-moderator reach out to him, and if it's the same one that reached out to me, that was Bonnie, and they were doing this to people. What they were doing was they had the one that I know of and saw receipts on was they had a veteran come forward, and this veteran needed money to help pay their rent. They had been put in the hospital. They were on some tough times. They needed money to help pay their rent. And I think what they were raising, the rent they were raising was like $1,500. Well, the donations that come in that night using this veteran and talking about this veteran's story and saying the money was going to him, the donations that came in that night were over almost $7,000. They gave the veteran the $1,500 and kept the rest of it. So Mike Penny did do that to people. I don't know about Bert's story. Who told me that? The lady keeping track of it, Karen Kelly Roark. She said, Mike Penny ripped you off. He sent you, only sent you half of that. She plays both ends against the middle because she's an attention whore. She lives in Brad Barton's chat room. When Brad Barton, the other night I said hello to everybody in Brad Barton's chat room, and she started attacking me to the point where Brad had to tell her to stop. That's funny. Like a dog on a chain. Started attacking me. She's turned people I went to high school against me. The people I went to high school with have been turned against me because of her flipping lies. Maybe they just hate you. Pervin created a website under a fake name that now her husband is managing, not a website, Facebook page, where they do nothing but go on there and make fun of everything I do. Which one you think it is? There's only Burt Cat Piss and Burt Lynch Truth. I don't think she owns either one of them. One woman, I can't stand how he's constantly touching his hair. You know why, bitch? Because you ain't got hair like mine. See, I can be Ebonics too. Ebonics? So, wow, we didn't think we'd get a racism slip, but we did. I can be Ebonics too, bitch. One woman, I can't stand how he's constantly touching his hair. You know why, bitch? Because you ain't got hair like mine. See, I can be Ebonics too. I can be like that Democrat. You don't got no hair like mine, baby. But there's people over there that criticize, he wears the same shirt. Wow. Didn't know you were getting a twofer, did you? Get the racism out as well. Good one. Every night. Well, I'm broke. I can't afford a wardrobe. There that criticize, he wears the same shirt every night. Well, I'm broke. I can't afford a wardrobe. There are people that watch my show that keep track with how many days in a row it is him wearing the same shirt. Wardrobe. All right, so there it is. And one sock. So I wonder if this would be a good time. I wonder if this would be a good time for me guys to show you this. He is making the fun. Other people are just pointing it out. That's a good point. I would not be able to make any of the content about Burt if Burt wasn't doing such ridiculous, dumb, retarded shit. That's my website, you guys. That's where you go to donate money. Here we go. You can make here's how you can send him money. Shirts. When I say I design them, I mean where the layout is. I do all that work. I send it over to a person who complains to me and says, you know how many more times? I can't change this shirt again. I said, well, we're going to change it again until I get it right, until I see it the way I want it. This is the Shadow t-shirt. I created that logo from a picture that I took of Shadow sitting on my desk. And I created this entire cup, which means I laid it out. I did all the work on it. And so this stuff is time consuming. He's a rock star, baby. In order to how many rock stars sell coffee mugs with their cat on it? Earn a living from the folks that are watching the show. And when you donate to my show, you're saying, I might not have $25 to spend on your... Good point, Sarasota. I do have $10 I can send you. Or it might be that I truly intend to glorify and edify on my show. Because you folks are hard to find. You folks are few and far between. The Democrats hate all of us. They hate you and me. And then you got guys like Wilbur, who says he lost half his audience when he went against Trump. Uh-oh. So half of that audience, where'd they go? Somewhere else. Not to you. Coming in my room. There's 87 people in my room right now. And there's let me go ahead and refresh it. Let me see here. I'll refresh it for you. And bro, you cannot trust those Rumble numbers. You are fucking up there, but go ahead. Go off, Queen. See where we went. So we got 13 thumbs up and 21 thumbs down. Those 21 people have not been heard from in the room, because even if they were somebody new, they would be able to get one word in edgewise before they get rumbled by my Terminators. But they're not even bothering to make a comment. They just come in here to hit the thumbs down and leave. Got it. because they think it aggravates me. The only thing that aggravates me is that 13 number is always the same. It's always somewhere between 12 and 15.
You're not growing, bro.
The amount of people that are in the chat room right now.
You're not growing.
80 people are watching the chat room right now, and only 13 of them are paying attention. I could give a rat's ass about what happens to the host.
Okay. Makes sense, so.
Anyway, you guys know how to reach out to me if you want to try to help. I can sure use it. You have no idea how bad it is. It's real bad. It's worse. It's as worse as it. Right now, it's as bad as it was the week I got kicked out of my house and had to find a place. Why is that? Because there are certain bills that have come due that cannot be avoided. They have to be paid. And I need to raise $8,500 in a week. And I intend to try to do it. I'm not giving up.
How much is it now?
In a week. There are certain bills that have come due that cannot be avoided. They have to be paid. And I need to raise $8,500 in a week.
$8,500 in a week to just exist, to just live. $8,500 in a week. You're just going to get your legs broke, dude. He always gets ratioed. That's true.
And I intend to try to do it. I'm not giving up. I'm trying to see. I want to remind you guys of this woman. I told you about this. Phyllis Fong, right here. Dave Landis had this post. Phyllis Fong right here. I've told you guys about this.
Somebody in chat, what was the guy's name that did the SNTV, and what is the SNTV website? You guys remember?
Lady. She is the woman, the USDA inspector, Phyllis Fong, a 22-year deep state operative, is one of the key players behind the artificial inflammation of the poultry and egg prices in the United States. If you guys remember, I'm not going to read this whole article, I'm just going to tell you. If you guys remember, she went around, found a guy that didn't even work in the plant who got bird flu, and then went to that plant and all the plants around there and destroyed all the chickens. Okay, she's been arrested. Okay. She thought she was untouchable when Trump began cleansing the deep state in January. She refused to leave, publicly claiming Trump had no authority over federal watchdogs. The next day, karma struck state in January and destroyed all the chickens. Okay, she's been arrested. Didn't even work in the plant who got bird flu and then went to that plant and all the plants around there and destroyed all the chickens. Okay, she's been arrested. Okay. She thought she was untouchable when Trump began cleansing the deep state in January. She refused to leave, publicly claiming Trump had no authority over federal watchdogs. The next day, karma struck. Security forced her out.
So she was absolutely not arrested. This is all a lie. I know it seems weird to get your news from a Facebook post. That's because it is. Former USDA Inspector General Phyllis Fong was not arrested after she was ousted from her role. The USDA has spoken. USDA Inspector General oversees consumer food safety, audits and investigation of the Agriculture Department, as well as violations of animal welfare. Fong was removed from her role by U.S. President Donald Trump's administration on January 24th and was among 17 inspectors general fired. Right? He fired all the inspectors general. James Burkhart, thank you. He fired all the inspector generals from a bunch of different places. She wasn't arrested. We don't get our news from random Facebook posts that agree with you.
Delivering her straight to the JAG investigators. And now she's under arrest. So there she is. This is the lady that started the egg crisis. All right. And she did it for one reason only, and that was to make to create another controversy that would distract.
Again, not true. This is just a Facebook post.
Us from the crap that the Democrats are up to. That's what they do constantly. Okay. There was another fire in New Jersey yesterday. I'm sorry. There was a fire in New Jersey yesterday. That's a distraction. You know, the Pope is dead. They're going to spend all week long working on that, making sure that that's all we can do. It's all we can talk about. And that's just the way they do it. The news for the next 2 or 3 days, unless I go out and dig stuff up for you off the internet, all you're going to be hearing about is the Pope and possibly the stock market if it drops a lot. And
okay,
they'll come in on you. Here's a little something for you guys, just so you can get a smile on your face.
Looks were the best. Over and over, they told us they are not the party they were.
So I know that I've got some of my viewers and some of the people that are close to me. They're going to say, "Well, you whacked at the hornet's nest." I don't care. That needed to be exposed. Maybe, just maybe, some of those people that are out there thinking that they've got the goods on dirt have seen the true side of what the hell's been happening.
I doubt it.
Okay, who the hell has the time to create that kind of a bunch of chaos just for enjoyment, and then claim I only make up $100 doing it? Bullshit. You make a bunch of money doing that. You don't get $5 million.
Bunch of money.
And not get a lot of following, a lot of publicity. And yes, it's true. He kicked the Patriots to the curb, and now he's going with the 20%, if it's even that, of the country that thinks that there's something better out there than Trump.
The 20% of the country that doesn't like Trump.
When I can promise you there isn't. I'm checking on my cat. You okay, buddy? What are you doing?
That was my mistake, guys. I should have treated you guys better.
Oh man! All right, so this happened. I don't really know. This happened in Arizona. I don't really know. I haven't vetted this very deeply, other than it looks legit to me. As a professional actor, I can tell when a bad actor is acting badly. This guy
God!
An actor. But let's check out what he has discovered over in Arizona. Let me try that again.
Well, now I'm recording like right to TikTok because like shit is getting real now. So we're off north of our property a little bit, and we were looking for places that naturally hold water, and we found this like little pond that's like north of an arroyo, and this thing is filled with kids' backpacks.
Like filled with that.
This does not look
like a mound here, and like
there's like a bunch of signs of like wildlife activity. Like
if you dig down,
it's like
there's backpacks. There's little kids' backpacks here.
Maybe too loud.
Like there are kids' fucking backpacks here. I'm armed, but
go call the authorities.
We found a place out in the middle of the desert.
Oh my goodness.
That, has bones and boots and
all sorts of shit.
Kids' backpacks. Yeah.
He's in Cochise County, really Arizona.
You smell that?
What?
Something smells like sweet.
No.
Like it smells like laundry detergent. You smell that? And there's like.
But no, it smells that like sweet like that in places like out here.
So we just
somebody's smoking crack.
We found like our 5th backpack or bag after finding that boot.
It's a crack pipe, says Bert.
Yeah, we're done. We're gonna head back to the property. Gonna have to contact somebody with backpacks and like personal belongings.
Or something, 'cause we're gonna have to look at this later, but like.
Well, now
it looks fake as fuck to me, but whatever.
Like it might be where they're taking the kids' backpacks and pitching them because they've just abducted them, and they won't let them have any.
Why would they put all the kids' backpacks together? Wouldn't that be a silly thing to do? So they get busted.
Of personal value at all. They just
James Kevin Burkhart. Thank you, Kelly. SNTV.com.
It's disgusting.
Thank you.
This is the kind of stuff I'm trying to share with my audience just to make you aware while others are out there getting rich attacking people. So I want to thank everybody for putting up with some of the content tonight. I know it was a little frustrating, and I see that we still have 90 people, almost 90 people watching. All my locals, all my regulars who've been helping me out in the past, if there's anything you can do tonight, as it stands right now, I think my
he's got to have $85,000 by the end of the week.
My bank account is like $20 overdrawn. So the first $20 is just going to get my well, it's $14 overdrawn. This is going to get that fixed, and then anything else is going to help me just do things like feeding the cat. We need an investor. We need a big time investor to step in and see what's going on and see where we need to take this. I know where we have to go. We have a business plan, but we just can't implement it because there's we can't do anything in this little apartment. This is it. All right, you guys. So thank you for putting up with everything. I hope to see y'all back tomorrow night. I'll do this again. I'll be as close to 6:30 Pacific time as I possibly can. Please hit the. Let me go back here so I can find you guys. Where are you? There you are. Let me see where we are. Just have to refresh it. So yeah, we only have
backpacks are fireproof always.
And 21 down. So if you can hit the thumbs up, please hit the follow button. We got 2 new followers.
That didn't work.
Wilbert says he's got 8,000 people following him on TikTok already, and I can't get anybody to follow me on TikTok.
I was just thinking, man, I should have ended this video 10 minutes ago. It's kind of dragging on, right? I am so glad I just stayed. I am so glad I stayed. What was that, Bert? One more time.
For that, Wilbert says he's got 8,000 people following him on TikTok already, and I can't get anybody to follow me on TikTok. I can't get anybody.
But it's not me. It's the deep state. It's not that I do a horrible show. It's not that I keep bringing up Will for some unknown reason. It's not that I blame everybody else. It's not that I beg people for money. It's not that I say I have to have $8,500 by the end of the week or I'm going to die while doing a show and people don't want to hear you bitch and whine and complain. It's not. It's the deep state, guys. It's Will and the Foots.
Follow me here. I don't understand. I don't understand. I guess you got to be a piece of shit and be miserable and nasty to everybody in order to find the miserable and nasty people that will come and be a part of it. You guys are good people.
Okay.
You guys in my chat room, you're good people.
You guys in my chat room, miserable pieces of shit. Just so you know.
And help a good guy keep it going. That's all I'm saying. All right. So do me a favor and follow me.
He is defeated. Do we feel bad yet, chat? Especially after you saw how he talked to Marianne Mann and this.
Miserable and nasty to everybody in order to find the miserable and nasty people that will come and be a part of it. You guys are good people. You guys in my chat room, you're good people. And help a good guy keep it going. That's all I'm saying.
I don't have much of a conscience. You guys are my conscience. So when I go too far, you tell me I go too far and I'll probably tell you to fuck off. But then later, I might realize that you were right. Maybe.
Right. So do me a favor and follow me.
I'm singing, follow me, everything is all you won't find out.
So much.
You're feeling guilty. And
I want to thank Ann Gallagher and the Lands for being here. Jam Witch as well. Thank you so much. Lioness, thank you for being here. Hopefully I'll run into you one of these days locally. Timber, who left us early. Good night. It looks like we only really had about 4 chatters in the room tonight.
How many people were in your chat? You claim that you got 100 people watching you live at all times. How many people were engaging with the show? 4?
And Jesus Christ loves us. On behalf of Shadow, who's laying right here to my left, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Don't give you money, I can't give you the sky.
Defeat.
Better off if you don't ask why. I'm not the reason that you go astray. And we'll be alright if you don't ask me to stay. Everything is alright. I'll be the one to tuck you in at night. And if you
God damn, stop rubbing it. More than 2 shakes, you're playing with it, Bert.
like me, don't know how you met me, you don't know.
He does touch his hair a lot, doesn't he?
Can't turn around and say goodbye.
It's because I got the hair, Felicia. I can do a Bonix if you want me to. All right, guys. That's Catching Up with Bert. I kind of forgot he existed, but we're back now. So, there you go. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. If you want to support the show, you can do that at coldbeer.fund. I need you. Okay, here's what you need to do. If you haven't donated to the show in the last 24 hours, I need to see a list of all government benefits you're receiving. If you're not receiving government benefits, you should have donated. If you are on government benefits, I'm going to weigh those against how much I think you should receive and then claim that you're lying about your income. You can do that at coldbeer.fund, coldbeer.fund. Thank you guys for joining us. Fuck Bert and his people. We'll be back for the next one. Have a good night. Love you. See you. Bye. Enjoy the show, Bert.
But I can tell you this about if this douchebag happens to
I might hit you up on that closet if you're going to finish me off within 5 minutes.
balls,
I usually last longer than that, but
find
I don't. Maybe it's the hair.
tell them exactly who they are and tell them the rest of the world who they are. You don't have the forking balls. You don't have the balls.
I have to raise $9.2 billion by Thursday next week. I'm just saying, it's gotten bad. There's nothing I can do. Millions of dollars. That's it.
And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well, listen, bitch, I came equipped with a quick wit and a 6th sense for the stupid shit. Where my true believer? Y'all need Jesus. Praise the Lord, head to the extreme. All these false fucking prophets who profit off of gossip. Worshipping drums, cocking, begging for a throat deposit. Swinging fucking meat hammers like fool in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, eating his chest like he's King Kong. Starving for attention, I'ma make your gut burst. I'll be your Huckleberry, I can quit that.
My sister works in Kentucky with unemployment. She doesn't work directly for unemployment. She works for like other social programs, but she has a lot of people that she works with that's on unemployment.
You get fucking superpowers? Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen nothing yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen nothing yet. I used to find clues too when I was high on shrooms. I found myself a
Hope you guys have a good night. We'll be back tomorrow. Love you. See you. Bye.
some of us meat rockets.
Go follow me on TikTok just to make Bird mad. Bert mad. I can't get anybody to follow me on TikTok.
This is gonna be it. Stop. What?